Sacramento! Welcome to the program. It is Sactown Sports 1140. Yours truly, Zakariah. We've got a fun 4 hours for you from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I am lucky and blessed. One of the few nice guys in this industry. There's not a lot of nice guys in this industry. This guy is one of them, a pillar of Bay Area sports broadcasting. The one, the only, Damon Bruce joins me. He's told me I got to plug his podcast, but I don't know what else to do other than to say just to follow you, Damon, on Twitter at Damon Bruce. Is that a good enough intro?
There you go. That's really good, Zakariah. Of course, I'm on YouTube now. You talk about this industry. I'm not in this industry. This is the first time I've been on any radio station for an hour because I've done a couple of guest shots. But it's been since April, since, the radio layoff round came for me. Mm-hmm. And I've been on YouTube ever since, man. And when you said you want to come on and do an hour with me during the week, I said, sure, because I got to tell you, you're one of the, here's the thing, let's not kill the show with nice guys. But you're one of the nice guys in the business too, man. And you and I got along right away. You helped me at the very dawn of my start.
Yes, Gianna was on maternity leave, I believe, right. And I was doing the updates for you when you literally started at 95.
You were filling in for Gianna, and the very least I can do is pay you back by hopping on with you. And there's an awful lot to talk about, man. So good to see you. It's been a very long time since I've seen you, since we've shared any air together. So
yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, no, for sure. And you probably forgot. I will never forget that you said on the airwaves that you reminded I reminded you of me 10 years before you were who you are now. So I always appreciated that. That always stuck with me. That's one of those things that in your brain, I don't know if you have memories that just never go away, but I have certain things in my head that I'll never forget. That was one of those things. And so I appreciate you joining me. And yes, let's talk some sports, shall we? Because that's what you do fantastically. And I haven't had a chance to congratulate you. I did briefly on the phone, but congratulations on your 2 healthy boys that you have had and everything that you've been doing. And let's talk Warriors Suns. So that game last night, to me, Damon, I have said that the Warriors are going to be outside of the Kings, and I'm not just being California myopic. I think you can throw the Milwaukee Bucks in the conversation in terms of more like most interesting teams, but the Warriors are going to be up there for me, and specifically because of the Chris Paul move. You've got a guy that's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, obviously, working into the mix after all the Jordan Poole drama that we don't need to talk about, Damon, but just in terms of the way that the Warriors are formulated now, I think that they were going to try to make a transition to be young, and then all of a sudden they won a title, and it was like, well, we can't go young now. All of our old guys are still good. But what did you make from the game last night?
All right, so a few impressions, because I was at Chase Center last night, and there is nothing weirder than Warriors fans chanting CP3.
Because they hate the guy, right?
It's so funny. No one likes Darth Vader until he's hitting cleanup for you. And now all of a sudden, all of Chris Paul's antics and flopping and dirty looks at officials and everything about him that we absolutely have hated is working to the Warriors' benefit now. So it's amazing how quickly you come around on things that you hate. Paul didn't come out and start the game very well. He had a poor shooting night. Every Warrior pretty much had a poor shooting night. It's why they lost. It's we're one day into the NBA season, and I'm going to use one of my favorite cliches. It's a make or miss league, and they missed too many shots. But look, CP3 and that second unit brought the Warriors back into that game more than once. They closed the gap on the Suns, who were, look, they're going to be a handful. I mean, they didn't even have Bradley Beal last night. Devin Booker can play. He's so smooth, and we all know about Kevin Durant. So Suns are going to be a problem, but it was great to see Chris Paul assimilate, fit in, and make that second unit run. And 2 aspects of let's call it the youth movement that never happened, are starting to come into focus, because I was really happy in a game where you're looking for things that you liked. I was really happy with what I saw from Jonathan Kuminga. He's getting more physical. He's getting more, he's just more court aware. I don't know if I wouldn't go as far as to say he looks natural out there, Zakariah, but he looks like he's ready to take that big step forward this year, and the Warriors 100% need him to do that. I like the squabble in Moses Moody. Ooh, he was really playing hard on all aspects of the game. He was defending hard. He was rebounding hard. He was running hard, jumping hard. Like everything Moses Moody did last night indicates to me it's going to be a step forward season for him. So I really like Kuminga and Moody. It was good to see Chris Paul. Klay Thompson missed too many shots. Curry missed too many shots as well. And that's why they lost by 4. But they had a 40-point fourth quarter. And for a minute there, you can see it. You could see what the plan is. And this plan might actually work.
Yeah, well, look, when you're talking about the Splash Brothers, you're talking 7 of 25. They're not really used to that type of shooting from behind the stripe. And 40-19 in the third quarter, where it looked like they could have been coming back, get outscored by 10 in the fourth. And I guess I hear what you're saying, D. Bruce, but what I'm having a hard time with is exactly what the plan is. Look, Kuminga, his preseason numbers and his tape would show you enough that he's ready to make that leap. And yes, Moody showed you a lot of good things last night, but they continue to be a team for me, Damon, where I don't know what the identity is going to be. Curry, dropped 50 on the Kings. We're in Sacramento. They know all about that in Game 7. But the identity of the team with Chris Paul in there, who had 4 for 15 from the field. Like you said, everybody shot horribly. He was 0 for 6 from 3. But he had, 14 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. I just wonder exactly what their rotation is going to be as they this is a championship level expectation organization. So I just wonder what their identity is going to be moving forward.
Well, I actually think we're getting an indication of them re-embracing their identity. And they're a small ball basketball team. That's who they are.
So that's just what they're going to roll with.
I believe that. They had a chance to add Dwight Howard, who, by the way, has got his name in the news today for denying sexual allegations. And that's weird. I'm glad they didn't get into the Dwight Howard business.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to be getting into the let's bring in a traditional center business anymore. It's always been a little bit of an odd fit. The traditional centers who have fit, or borderline Hall of Famer like Andrew Bogut. JaVale McGee was a pogo stick, so he kind of fit, but he never really impacted that much. David West had his moments as the tough guy, but it's always been a little bit of a strange fit for a traditional big.
True. Zaza probably had the most success.
Absolutely. And, Zaza deserves his credit there, but, Zaza was never out on the floor really for their crunch of any game.
Yeah.
I think that they're re-embracing their small ball identity, and that's what they should do. It's what they've had the most success with. I don't think that they're going to be able to match up with some of the biggest, best centers in basketball as the big man game kind of returns to the NBA. And you get around that literally by getting around it, by running them off the floor. And I think that that's what the Warriors are going to do. And then there's this weird Chris Paul aspect to where we know he likes to slow things down. But in a weird way, it's a different gear. It's a changeup. The other thing that I really like, Zakariah, and this is the difference between, are the Warriors a 6 seed? Are they in the play-in? Or are they like a legit 2-3 seed? Did they win 50 games?
Mm-hmm.
It's about turnovers. Only 11 turnovers last night.
Yep.
They sometimes dropped an 11 turnover quarter on you in last season with Jordan
and
Poole.
Steve Kerr almost loses his mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So a team that is re-embracing its small ball identity. Mm-hmm. And then look, you can't really delineate anything from rotation when we've played a game and Draymond wasn't out there. So you're not getting a real read on anything. But I thought the one message that was sent last night was sent right to Andrew Wiggins. And that is, it doesn't matter how long you played in this league, where you were drafted, or what you think your resume says. If you're having a bad night, you're off the court. Andrew Wiggins was awful last night, and he was not in the closing group. Kerr went with Kuminga over Wiggins in a tight game late in the fourth quarter. And I think that that is a message to, I don't care who you are, what you've done, if you've been a part of our success or not. If you're not playing well, we got other options. Now, of course, Kerr iced out his rookies Like, I was really hoping that Trace Jackson Davis, go Hoosiers. I was really hoping that Trace Jackson Davis was going to go ahead and get a couple of minutes in his first pro game. Didn't happen. Only Steve Kerr can slow down Brandon Pajemski and Trace Jackson Davis.
Only Steve Kerr. Yeah, I mean,
Steve Kerr can stop him.
Yeah. To your point, Wiggins minus 22 when he was on the court plus minus. And yeah, I mean, when you shoot 35.6% from the field and 23.3% from three, probably not a large chance that you're going to win the game. But as we make that transition, just to talk about the Western Conference in general, and specifically the Kings, as we are up here in Sacramento, we will talk about who you think is going to be the rankings. I know it's only day one of the NBA season, but I want to know D. Bruce's rankings in terms of where the Warriors will be, where the Kings will be, where the Lakers will be, where the Suns will be, all that good stuff. We'll get into that next. You're listening to Zakariah, Damon Bruce, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Can Mike Brown build on last season?
Hey, Damon, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi. Hold on. I was on another web page. I'm not looking at it right now. Reopen your tab. Hi.
Hey, my name's Nate Littlefield. It's nice to meet you. I got you in break here during the YouTube. I just wanted to bother you in this break, if that's cool. It's really short.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of you and Larry Kruger. I love your guys' show. You got me. I can't mention it on here, but you got me a couple weeks ago. You said something about Deshaun Watson it caught me off guard so much and threw me for a loop. But I wanted to ask, I guess we only got 30 seconds here. Maybe I'll ask you on air, just like, what is up with the Niners D line? Do you think it's Steve Wilkes?
No,
you don't.
I don't. I'm sure we'll get into it, but we will absolutely, I'm guessing, talk about that. When is the next break? When are the breaks? Just so I know when they're I can feel them.
The next one's 23:39, and then we'll get out around 55.
Okay, fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're going to come back right now. So thank you.
All right. I'm going to run and take a leak at the 23 break.
Cool.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
All that good stuff, like, subscribe, follow, mention, whatever's clever. I am Zakariah. This is Sactown Sports, 1140. You can call or text the show, 916-339-1140. Follow me on Twitter at Zach Sports, ZAK Sports. He is at Damon Bruce, and make sure you follow his YouTube feed as he says on his profile. He's giving you free knowledge and sports wisdom. So, I mean, if it's free,
give it away. Just giving it away.
No, right, Damon?
Just giving it away. Like a drunk person in the bar at the end of the night. I'm just giving it away. Yeah. Please go ahead. Subscribe to Damon Bruce Plus on YouTube. We're covering sports without the FCC telling us how to talk. So it's an awful lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. It is. And yeah, man, I miss you on the airwaves. And I tried to get your intro ready. I don't know what the rules are out here, Damon. I'm trying to, I'm kind of walking on thin ice. So I try to not bend the rules as much as I can. So I didn't know if I could just play your intro, but I love your intro and I love your ending, which if people don't know it, because we're getting old, Damon, let's face it. People probably don't even know that movie from your ending where
The Usual Suspect.
And like that, yeah, he's gone. I don't think
it's a great movie. It's like a rite of passage. Every guy needs to see the following movies.
Let's ask Nate. Hang on real quick. Let's ask Nate. Do you know what Usual Suspects is?
Yes, I know. I know.
Okay,
yeah, I know, but I haven't seen it all the way through, so that's the issue there.
All right, what's your list, Damon?
Okay.
First of all, hang on. What do you mean you didn't watch it all the way through?
I've seen clips. You see everything on social media. Things pop up.
So you didn't start it and then end it?
No.
I
wouldn't do that. That's disgusting.
Watch the whole movie. It's a great movie.
Okay.
All right, what's your list, Damon?
It unfolds like a beautiful flower. So, it's up there with all the great guy movies. It's Shawshank Redemption, Usual Suspects, The Godfather, Goodfellas, Roadhouse. These are classic guy movie. Caddyshack, Gladiator.
Would you throw Pulp Fiction in there?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, Pulp Fiction is more than just like for guys. Like
that's true. That's another level.
That's way out there. Yeah. But when I say like the guys movies, the kind of movies that your wife is like, again, really? And you're like, yeah, honey, whenever it's on TV, I can't change the station when it
Yeah,
comes on.
Shawshank is there for me, Damon. When that movie comes on TV, I will change my plans for the day. No matter what the plans are, my plans are altered because I have to finish that movie. And that's even watching commercials in a day where you don't really watch commercials anymore. So Shawshank Redemption is phenomenal and written by Stephen King. Didn't know that because it's not really scary.
Yeah, it's a short story that he did that they turned into a movie. I always when I know if I'm watching it on network TV, I pause it and I do something on my phone for like 20 minutes so I can still jog through the commercial.
There you go.
I don't do commercials anymore. Red Dawn, Patrick Swayze. By the way, we got a lot of plusers. The people who watch my YouTube channel call themselves the plusers because it's Damon Bruce Plus. It's funner to say plus.
Got it.
So we got, I see AJ Cruz, Rockin' New Air 84. Let me tell you, you can have a sports talk radio station with just like these 4 or 5 guys. They're such great listeners. So,
that's awesome.
It's good to see them in here. Good to see you. Good to see a board. I haven't seen a board op in months. Oh my God, it's like a sight for sore eyes. Oh my
Nate's
God.
here for you.
Nate's here for you,
and we will get into some football bottom of the hour. But let's stick with some round ball for now, as the NBA season kicked off last night. And when I talk to you about Western Conference teams, right? You got the Nuggets and the Suns 1-0. The Warriors and the Lakers at 0-1. Everybody else hasn't played. The Kings do play tonight. Now, as a fantastic sports reporter, sports broadcaster, whatever you want to call yourself. I don't know exactly what you say about yourself, but I would say that you're both. I'm a
basketball junkie. That's what I am.
Yeah. You and I both. I think you and I both have had more of an affinity for basketball than any other sport. I know you love Hoosier football and all that stuff. But when we talk about the Sacramento Kings.
Hoosier football, that's the worst. But basketball, yes.
No, but you talk about it a lot, and I know it's near and dear to your heart. You want them to be good. They're just boring. Anyways, when I say Sacramento Kings, Damon, you say what in terms of being a threat in the West? I have them repeating as being a 3 seed. There are some articles out there, John Hollinger, who have them at 11, missing the play-in game. But when you look at them in terms of the royalty in the Western Conference, where do you have the Sacramento Kings?
Well, they're not royalty, even though the name is Kings. I think that they are going to be competitive. I think that they are going to put something in an NBA regular season gumbo that not a lot of teams put into their gumbo, and that is we're playing hard every single night. And when I think, honestly, Sacramento Kings, obviously you think of De'Aaron Fox, you think of Keegan Murray, you think of Sabonis. I really like Malik Monk. Davion Mitchell, the step forward he takes this year is going to go a long way to determine what kind of year the Kings have. But, you know, when you get to know someone the way that we got to know Mike Brown, and you really start admiring the way that they go about their work. If you're asking me, the key to the Kings' year really is their head coach. I think Mike Brown just 100% gets it. And I hope that there's no, I can't imagine that there's a Kings fan who doesn't like Mike Brown already with what he's done and accomplished. But if there's a holdout, let me tell you, it's time for you to end that holdout, because this guy understands the league on every conceivable level. He relates to the guy who's the last guy on his bench. He relates to the best superstar on his team. He relates to NBA officials. He relates to his owner well. He relates to the media very well, which is a very important ingredient in just keeping the water nice and calm around your team all year long. Mike gets the NBA on every conceivable level, angle. There's not a flavor he hasn't tasted. There isn't a shape or color he hasn't been over. He gets all of it. And I love Mike Brown. And he's such a good guy. I mean, to meet Mike Brown is to like Mike Brown. And I just think that he is going to get this team to put the squabbles out on the court every night. I mean, and that's what they have to do. Are the Kings most talented team in basketball? No, they're not. But they're going to have to out-effort teams to win games, and you can do that in the regular season in this league. As far as the playoffs are concerned, when everybody's effort is at 100, that's when the Kings are going to have a little trouble making it through the cream of the crop, the royalty of the Western Conference, as you say. But I think the Kings should have a very good regular season. They are, in spite of whether they're winning or losing, I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. You got runners, you got a shooter, you got a big who rebounds and outlet passes to start breaks as good as anybody in the league. So I think that the Kings are going to be a whole lot of fun this year. They really are. And how many seasons have Kings fans gone into the year going, all right, I'm going to support the team, but this whole thing is going to be painful the whole way through. It's not going to be that this year. I think they're going to be a hell of a show on an NBA court, and I'm 100% coming up to a couple games this year because I like good basketball, and I love good basketball in person. I love the thing that look, football is king. Football is the currency that we spend the most when, we're hosting shows. It's the coin of the realm in sports talk radio. It's perfect episodic television. We all watch the same show. We talk about it until Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, we start talking about the next show we're going to see. Football and sports talk radio were made for each other. I don't really even like going to football games anymore because I can follow it and cover it better at home with a clicker in my hand. And there's so much stoppage for replay, and I want to go back and look at things. Basketball games are the last great in-arena experience in sports as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing better than a wild crowd, last 3 minutes of a tight game, and Kings fans bring it, Warriors fans, in all those glory years, coming up to the glory years, Oracle Arena was just electric every single night. And I really hope the Golden One Center is like that. I mean, what the noise level that the Warriors faced in the playoffs last year was very special. Some of those intros were awesome. I loved it. So I'm looking forward, absolutely looking forward to the Warriors and Kings matchups, which we're going to get real soon.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every game is Warriors Kings. And you want to know, movie reference, Step Brothers. You want to know how we're best friends? We both love basketball the same. I can feel how much you love basketball as much as I love basketball. So you pretty much made the 10:45 segment. We are going to do, as you said, football is king. We're going to do some Niners talk at the bottom of the hour after an update from Nate. So we're going to get
karate in the garage.
For sure. Bunk beds? I'm down. I just don't want it to break. You'd have to probably be the bottom bunk.
No doubt.
I'd have to. Well, I'm 6'5", 220.
Yeah, but you're a thin 6'5".
Anyways, we will get into Niners talk coming up, bottom of the hour, and then more, because you basically, this is why I know you're great at sports broadcasting, Damon. You created like 5 questions that I can do for an entire segment at 10:45 about basketball. But we have to do Niners football, bottom of the hour, coming off of back-to-back losses. And some people are panicking. I'm not. We'll see where Damon's at. We will do that next. You're listening. Zakariah, Damon Bruce, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
It's the sponsor of the Drive of the Game, Jiffy Lube, our old friends, our dear friends, Jiffy Lube. With winter coming up, listen, all kinds of things. Obviously, oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, you get your air filters replaced. Make sure you winterize your vehicle. For more information, of course, you can go to jiffylube.com and make sure you tune in after each and every Kings game for the Jiffy Lube Drive of the Game. For more info, once again, go to jiffylube.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. The World Series is set starting this Friday. The Arizona Diamondbacks will be taking on the Texas Rangers. First pitch will be at about 5 p.m. And your Sacramento Kings are back. The big news. They're in Utah to play the Jazz. No pun intended. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Herter will get the start. All of this is excitement begins with game night at 4:30. Scott Marsh, Henry Turner, and then tip-off with the G-Man at 6. Don't forget, all callers are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are the headlines. Now we get back to the midday show with Zakariah and Damon Bruce.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to the program, Sacramento. I am Zakariah. This is Sactown Sports, 1140. It's a pleasure. It has been a pleasure for a half an hour. It'll be a pleasure again for the next half hour to be joined. I'm going to call him Bay Area broadcasting legend, Damon Bruce. You heard him on.
It's an oversell.
Well, I mean, I can't mention the other stations, but let's just say that you've been a prominent figure on airwaves, and I've listened to you from a young buck until I just turned 40 this year, Damon.
Oh, well, you still look like you're 19 years old. So
I appreciate that. but no, seriously, thank you for joining me. I know you're busy. I know you're covering stuff. I know you're doing stuff. You daddy duty, all that good stuff. Your beautiful bride. And so honestly, when I reach out to people, you really learn a lot about people, Damon. And I know you said in the beginning of the broadcast that you consider me to be one of the nice guys in the industry. I hope that that's true. I tend to think that I am, but sometimes people can be polarizing and stuff like that. But you really learn a lot about people. Like, for instance, this is just totally random, but like Monty Poole always gets back to me, always responds to me. You know what I mean? And like Jorge Sedano, right? From PTI, Around the Horn, whatever. He's in LA now doing ESPN radio. Always gets back to me. So it's like there's certain people that are really good people, and you love those people. And then there's certain people that are not really good people, Damon. That's all I'm saying. You're a really good person is all I'm saying.
Well, thank you very much. Just stop ruining my image. I'm supposed to be a little dangerous.
Oh, you want to be the bad guy? Okay, my bad. He's a jerk. He's a jerk. He barely got back to me. He blocked my number. I had to totally stalk him to get him on.
No, I'm happy to do it. Like I said, one of the reasons why I told you that you reminded me of me all those years ago was you're a grinder, man. You're a straight hustler. You're looking to go ahead and get in wherever you can fit in. And that's how you have to break in to this industry, which will never love you back. Not for a minute, not for a singular moment. Trust me. You know? So it's a passion project. I've always been attracted to people who love broadcasting. And you're one of those people. So that's why you and I got the kismet.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk some football, shall we? We are pretty much obliged. I mean, the fact that this is what I learned about you over this past half hour is how much you love basketball as much as I love basketball. So we could talk basketball for an hour, but we got to go to football here for just a second. And in terms of the Niners, help me with this question, Damon, because I'm arguing that the offense was to blame for the loss in Minnesota. And some people are saying the defense was to blame. Now, if you look at the yards, obviously Kirk Cousins had a good day and the Niners didn't get a sack. So you could say defense, but to me, and I was shocked by the numbers on what the average team scores. I thought it was going to be a lot higher than it was. But to me, if you allow 22 points, you should win that game. So you walked out of that Monday Night Football thinking how about the offense and the defense, Damon?
Well, so I thought, as you know, everyone likes to blame either the quarterback or the coach or the defensive coordinator who definitely sent the wrong blitz at the wrong time at the end of the first.
What if it was a pick, Damon?
Well, that's the thing. Players got to play. Okay. I'm putting that loss squarely on the players. That's not a coach's loss. That's a player's loss. The defense got its butt whipped up front. This defensive line is the signature of this entire team. It's the John Hancock of the San Francisco 49ers, a dominant defensive line, and we have not seen that since the plane took off from Pittsburgh in week 1, where they had 5 sacks in week 1. Drake Jackson had 3. He still got 3. We haven't used his name now in 5 consecutive weeks of football. Drake Jackson, it's like he's gone. Eric Armstead is gone. And Nick Bosa, guess what? Heavy is the head that wears the crown of that contract. And it is time for Nick Bosa to start looking like he belongs in the best defensive end in football conversation again with Myles Garrett, who just singularly played one of the single greatest football games ever played. Myles Garrett beat the Indianapolis Colts by himself, basically.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what Nick Bosa needs to be again. This team's calling card is a defensive line that has got your quarterback in Dutch every single time he's hitting the third step on a drop back. And Kirk Cousins had a clean pocket and was just surveying the field all night long. And he's not even looking for Justin Jefferson. He's out there throwing to Jordan Addison and guys, KJ Osborne and you're getting beat by guys who aren't supposed to be as good as you made them look. That is the guys on the field.
So you're going against me. You're saying the defense was to blame for that loss.
Well, no, everyone. I mean, the guys on the field. It wasn't a schematic loss. It was an effort loss. It was did you execute? Did you get the block down?
But defense or offense, I'm trying to peg you into a certain
everything. There's
opinion.
no one thing. There's no one thing. Here's the thing. We have to stop. There's so much. Everyone's like, well, the fourth quarter means more than the first 3 quarters. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. If you play the first quarter very well, no, it doesn't. The 49ers are at their best when they're front running. What is front running mean? That means they whip your butt in the first half. You got no chance of coming back in the second half. How much does that fourth quarter mean?
But that's what Fred Warner said. How are we going to win games when we're down? Yes, obviously you're great when you're up. But to me, yes, the fourth quarter means more. That's when the game is won or lost.
Oh, no. Every single play, every single yard gained in the first quarter, every single touchdown made in the first quarter. Again, that's like saying the most important quarter for the Warriors during their dynasty was the fourth quarter. No, it wasn't. Steph didn't even play. Clay didn't even play. Like the game was over by the third.
All right.
That's kicking ass.
All right.
That is dominance.
It's our first fight. It's our first fight.
That's okay. That's all right.
We disagree. We can have a fight.
Okay. Now, look, Brock Purdy was having a good game right up until he had a bad game with those 2 late interceptions. But this
with
team
chances to win the game. That's on the offense.
Sure. Well, you could say that, but how about McCaffrey not fumbling earlier in the game or
on the offense?
Well, yeah, but it all goes together. Like, it's a lot easier to play defense when your offense is getting you a lead. The 49ers didn't find their first touchdown until after the 2-minute warning in the first half. Kyle's calling card has been, hey, we're scoring on the opening drive every game going back to last year. It's, this happens all the time. It didn't happen.
All right.
Everyone was off. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, you want to say the offense had a bad day? I'm agreeing with you. They didn't open up running lanes. Christian McCaffrey scored his 2 touchdowns, but McCaffrey didn't have a good day. Trent Williams obviously didn't go. Debo didn't go. George Kittle, I see him more in Zenny commercials than I do.
All I'm hearing is offense. You're agreeing with me, D. Bruce. You're agreeing with me.
Sure, but the defensive line also totally blew that game as well and let Kirk Cousins look like Peyton Manning.
All right.
Jake Moody too.
I'll just end it here. 22 points. You allow 22 points, you should win the game. Go ahead.
Win that game. Absolutely. You should
I'm just saying, I mean, I like that Jake Moody hit that 55-yarder and Kyle Shanahan let him kick that, but he still missed another 40-yarder. If he makes that one early on.
I'm not doing kicker talk.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Look, here's the deal. Nobody involved in that game wearing a 49ers uniform had a really good game. Not even Christian McCaffrey. No one. That's the thing. You want to say offense, deep, everyone. The best performance comes once again from Mitch Wisnowski. I know you don't want to talk, but he had a really nice punt. Here's the thing. The 49ers.
Yeah.
You talk about how bad of an offense it was. They punted once. So they still move the ball. They still possess the ball. It's just a weird day.
Yeah, 17 points is not acceptable, though, D. Bruce. Anyways, we have to move along. We would fail the audience if we didn't do quarterback talk. We have to talk about Brock Purdy. Is this some sort of – here's what I've done, Damon Bruce, and I've tried to take a page out of your book. I've tried to be, reserved. I don't react harshly one way or the other. Was this a come down to earth moment for him over these past couple of games? I view him as the same guy that I did before. I didn't have him as a top 5 quarterback. I didn't have him as a bottom 5 quarterback. I got him right exactly where he is, doing his job responsibly. But over these past 2 games, and specifically this one, D. Bruce, where he had 2 opportunities and threw 2 picks in those opportunities to win the game, has your vision on Purdy changed at all?
No, I think he's a great fit for this team and Kyle, and he does exactly what what Kyle expects his quarterback to do. See the field, process the information quickly, and get the ball into the right playmaker. I think Brock is really good at that. He delivers a nice catchable ball. He is a better athlete than he looks like, and I like Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy a lot. Obviously, the 49ers like Brock Purdy a lot. And the reason why he's being picked apart is because everyone likes picking on the new kid at school. And Brock Purdy didn't even give you a chance to pick on him in his first 10 games. So now that he's had 2 bad games in a row, all the buzzards are out trying to play the I told you so game. For those who are trying to make a big deal out of the interceptions thrown, here's, again, you can have your opinion. I would like to present the fact that Brock Purdy's 3 interceptions are the fewest amount of interceptions that any quarterback has thrown who has played 7 games in this league so far this year. There's a small group of guys there with 3 quarterbacks. You got a guy like Josh Allen who has 7. If Brock Purdy already had 7 quarterbacks, people would be jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. You know what I mean? So I like Brock. I think he fits what this team needs at the position. And, look, Patrick Mahomes re-scrambled everybody's brain. He brainwashed everybody. Everyone's like, well, I want one of those too. My neighbor's got a Lamborghini. No, I want a Lamborghini. Well, Lamborghinis are not readily available. Yeah. They're a very, very special, hard to attain kind of an asset. Mm-hmm. And everyone wants a generational talent in every single draft. I guess we don't have a real working knowledge of what the word generational means. Generational doesn't mean there's going to be another one tomorrow. Generational means you ain't going to see anything like this for a while. And now everybody wants a generational talent that is Patrick Mahomes. It's not available. So when you got a guy who fits and executes a coach's game plan very well, you're on the bullseye. And I think that Brock Purdy is very much the bullseye of what Kyle Shanahan wants from his quarterback. He wants Kyle Shanahan. If he were a chef, he'd be a French chef, and he'd only want to hear 2 words in his kitchen. Yes, chef. That's it. Don't disagree with me. Just do what I tell you to do.
Yeah,
exactly what I tell you to do. If I say it's a pinch of salt, I don't mean dash of salt. I mean pinch of salt. And he is Kyle's star is the system. Purdy runs his system very, very well. So yep. I like him an awful lot. And what you have here is not a team that was a false prophet through 5 games, and now we know about the Niners. You have a really good team who had 2 bad games, and they better not have another bad game, or they'll be 5-3 going into the bye week against this healthier, rested Bengals team that's coming to town on Sunday. So big week for the 49ers in terms of how does that first half feel? Because the difference between 6-2 and 5-3 is only 1 game, but it's bigger than that, right? I mean, that's a big difference, big difference. So,
and that's specifically what Shanahan said. I mean, it'll be a big difference whether or not we're 6-2 or 5-3 going into the break. All right, coming up next, we'll sprinkle in, as he said, a pinch of salt of a little bit more football, and then we'll do some heavy round ball. Kings fans, your season starts tonight in Utah. I would say the most rabid fan base in the NBA. Sacramentoians, or whatever you call it. I always get it wrong. Feel the roar, light the beam, all that good stuff. Utah fans are crazy. Jordan will tell you the same thing. So it's going to be a tough matchup. We'll talk about that, the Western Conference, plus a little bit more football, all coming up next. Zakariah, Damon Bruce, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because only the Sleep Number Climate 360 smart bed lets you each sleep up to 13 degrees cooler or warmer on either side, while you both sleep at your ideal level of firmness, comfort, and support, your Sleep Number setting. And now our all-new next-gen smart beds have temperature benefits, so you sleep better night after night. And now, save up to $500 on our new Sleep Number smart beds, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening with Ram Power Days?
We love American muscle, and right now is the last call on new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challenger SXTs before they're gone, with lease payments as low as $399.
Well, what about all those Ram trucks I see?
Save thousands with 0% financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew Cabs. And we all know 0% financing is almost impossible to find in 2023.
These deals can't last long, so hurry into Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and see their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Take 0% financing for 72 months plus $6,000 dealer discount. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $13.89 per thousand borrowed. Lease new 2023 Dodge Charger or Challenger SXT for $399 a month for 42 months with $49.95 due at signing plus tax, license fees, and any accessories. Offer subject to credit approval through U.S. Bank with 10,000 allowable miles per year. 25 cents per mile excess mileage charge. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet Arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa, actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Yes, sir. It is nothing but a gangster party. I'm a gangster. Damon Bruce is a gangster. You can call in anytime you want. 916-339-1140. Be heard, be read on the text line. Check us out. We are live streaming on YouTube, which is also where you can catch Damon Bruce pretty much right after his segment. So I guess I'm asking you to leave watching me to watch him, but he'll be doing his show as he always does fantastically. Damon, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the plugs. And yeah, Damon Bruce Plus, subscribe. And here's the thing. Everyone who is watching you, listening to you, stay right there. The beauty of YouTube is you can pick it up and use it whenever you want it. So
that's true.
The show will be there for you when you get to it later today. Keep it tuned in right here. Rip off the knob at 11:40 a.m.
For sure. All right, Damon, we got to do. Okay, here's what I'm going to try to do with you because I know I only have 6 minutes with you until you have to sign off. So I want to do a little baseball. And then Nate has a football question, and then I want to do a little round ball in terms of the Kings. So let's start with the baseball. Now, you have been such the voice of the frustration of the people. Now, you know I'm a Berkeley guy, right? Went to Cal, lived in Berkeley my entire life. That is the cousin city to Oakland, right next to it. And the frustration that you let out, you speak for the A's fans. And there's been tons of coverage in terms of the boycotting and sell the team and blah, 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 blah. I'm so tired of that because it often falls on deaf ears, but you point out the specific things. Now, in terms of the A's, are they going to Vegas? Because right now it's looking like they're not getting the stadium rights that they want.
Well, leave it to John Fisher to screw up anything. He is the worst, least competent son of a rich person as he's watching his entire fortune drift away because nobody shops at the Gap anymore. I hate that guy. I hope his art museums burn down. I hope he does build a stadium in Las Vegas, and the night before it opens, that burns down too, and the insurance paperwork hasn't gone through, and it's nothing but abject failure for that douchebag, rich. I hate John Fisher, and I'm not one of those guys where I hate stuff. I hate John Fisher. I actually was walking around the Warriors game last night looking for him so I could throw a drink in his face. I hate that guy.
My teacher taught me to say dislike immensely, Damon, not hate. Dislike immensely.
No, it's real. The hatred is real. I wish him and his entire family ill will. They're the worst. But the A's are probably going to move to Las Vegas.
Do you think it's going to get done?
Yeah, because the baseball owners are going to allow the.
You think they'll fund it
to do it? Yeah, they probably will.
Okay,
and they'll find the big money to come on in and get it done somehow, some way, and it'll be other people's money
in that casino area.
Whatever John Fisher is promising the city of Las Vegas, it's a lie. But it seems like they really want to embrace this man's con job. He's a monorail salesman, right out of that Simpsons episode. Monorail. So, it'll probably happen because the bad rich billionaire always seems to win these days.
Okay. Shift gears, David. Shift gears.
Okay.
Bo Mel to the Giants. If you're an A's fan, Bo Mel to me did better with groceries, if you want to call it, making a meal. Everybody says that. Was that Bill Parcells that started that whole thing? Talking about cooking with groceries.
To make the meal, let me get the groceries.
So he goes to the Giants. I think A's fans feel a type of way. Not that I know any diehard A's fans or anything. But I mean, good news for the Giants, right? If you're a Giants fan, you got to be just thrilled with the hire of the skipper.
I like Bob Melvin. I think, as I've been saying for a couple days, he is the he's the right Venn diagram, like, the intersection of a Venn diagram of
Interesting.
Old school baseball guts and instincts, new school mentality, embracing sabermetrics, which again, the fact that the Giants use math is good. It's that they only use math is bad. I hope that Bob Melvin will have a little bit more chin check, gut check in him, and he's great when it comes to being a manager of a clubhouse. Players really respect him. That wasn't the case with Gabe Kapler there at the end. So I just think that Bob Melvin is going to come in and steady the ship. He's the right hand to have on the steering wheel. He couldn't solve the dysfunction of the San Diego Padres, but that seed of dysfunction was planted long before Bob Melvin got there. He couldn't garden it out. That's a problem. AJ Priller, that guy goes through managers like he's on The Bachelor. Like he's I think 9 years, 7, 8 different managers. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So he wants a new flavor of ice cream every day of the week. Bob Melvin, he might be vanilla, but vanilla is steady, and vanilla is the base of every single flavor that you have. No matter what your favorite flavor is, that ice cream started as vanilla, and they put other flavors in it. Bob is a great baseline for any franchise to have. I think the Giants got better with Bob Melvin.
Another reason why you're great is that was going to be my follow-up question, is just in terms of whether or not you want a manager that's more feel versus more of the numbers, because I know a big backlash on Kapler was that players just felt like they were numbers. They were, statistics that could be swapped out at any time or whatever. And Bochy and Dusty, who played against each other for a chance to go to the World Series, are way more feel guys. But we got to go to Nate because he is a diehard Niner fan, and he wants to ask about the defensive line. Go ahead, Nate.
So, well, actually, I want to ask about kind of a general question for you here. We only got a couple minutes, but trade deadline's coming up. It's going to be a spooky one on Halloween. Do you have any targets that the Niners should be after? Do you think they'll do anything at the trade deadline? What's your general feel about a move being made by Tuesday?
Go get Brian Burns. It's going to cost you a big pick, but go do it. Go get another real stud defensive end. Go get a corner. But yeah, they need to do something, and I think they will do something. I think that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are not done adding since they've added Randy Gregory. So I think that there is going to be another move. I'm very much in the Los Angeles Rams F them picks mode right now. This is not about the 49ers future. This is not about 2-3 years from now. This is the year, and next year is the year. There is a 2-year championship window, and you're standing in it right now. It's push all the chips into the middle. You give all your future draft picks away, whatever you got to do to put the most talent on here. You see what the Eagles just did, and they're really good and getting better. So you better do the same.
Damon Bruce on Twitter. Follow him at Damon Bruce. Sports and Wisdom for free. Follow the YouTube Plus. What do they call it? The Plus? What's it called?
Plukers.
The Plukers. Damon Bruce Plus. So you got HBO Plus, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus,
all sorts
Damon
of pluses.
Bruce Plus.
Got it.
But Plus doesn't rhyme with Bruce, so I'm not changing my last name.
Plus.
Yeah, Damon Bruce Plus.
YouTube.com/ at Damon Bruce Plus. Really appreciate the time, Damon. Seriously, I mean, I know that you've been long in the tooth in this industry, so you realize what it probably means. I hope that you realize how much it means to me that you joined me for this hour.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Sacramento, light the beam.
Light the beam, baby. Damon Bruce. Yeah, go follow him on Twitter. Check out his YouTube account. He gives great stuff on the regular, and really means a lot that he joined me for this hour as I sign off here on Sactown Sports 1140 with my guy, Nate Littlefield, behind the glass, all that good stuff. Coming up next, we're going to have another guest, one-man gang, Lorenzo Alexander. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk some life. We're going to have fun. Zakariah, Sactown Sports 1140.
The 82 game and
Damon, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
It was my pleasure, guys. You take care. Have a good show.
You too.
Play-by-play Wednesday of season number 39 in Sacramento.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker.
It's the Kings and Jazz in the season opener from Utah.
He's got the three-point shot.
Wednesday at 6 on your home of the Kings. Sactown Sports.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. It's the sponsor of the Drive of the Game, Jiffy Lube, our old friends, our dear friends, Jiffy Lube. With winter coming up, listen, all kinds of things. Obviously, oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations. You get your air filters replaced. Make sure you winterize your vehicle. For more information, of course, you can go to jiffylube.com and make sure you tune in after each and every Kings game for the Jiffy Lube Drive of the Game. For more info, once again, go to jiffylube.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your
Hey, you hear me?
No. Hey, Lorenzo, you got me here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. I just wanted to check in before the show. Get you on.
Cool. Yeah, perfect.
Nice, man. Appreciate you coming back on.
Oh yeah, no worries, man.
Great. I will. I'm gonna throw you back on behind the stage.
Complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
The City of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines.
Your Sacramento Kings are back there in Utah to play the Jazz, no pun intended. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Huerter will get the start. All of this excitement begins with game night, 4:30. You got Scott Marsh and Henry Turner. Tip off with the G-Man, 6 p.m. right here on Sactown Sports. I'd like to remind everybody, too, that all callers and guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Speaking of guests, we just had Damon Bruce on the show for an hour. The next hour is going to be Zakariah and Pro Bowler Lorenzo Alexander.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Zakariah, Sactown Sports 1140. It is a pleasure to be joined by the one, the only, Lorenzo Alexander on Twitter. For my money, the most intimidating Twitter handle you can have. One Man Gang 97. Now, granted, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But what I would never call myself is a one-man gang. I mean, because that means just you by yourself, you are a gang. But that's what Lorenzo was, as he played like, what, 7 different positions in the NFL?
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you for that, man. Yeah, it's all about versatility, right? You know, the more you can do, the better. They used to say, what, jack of all trades, master of none. I actually called it, I switched it up. I said, jack of all trades, master of some. So I was a demon on special teams. I could obviously play outside backer at a high level. And then I had the ability to do these other things, play D tackle, rush at defensive end, play some guard in my bigger days, play some fullback, right? And so I just added a lot of value to a team. And so I would encourage all young kids, obviously people in whatever industry you are in, right? You want to master whatever you're special at, but also have some wisdom and knowledge about how the rest of the business works, because you never know when you're going to be called upon to maybe fill a gap, fill a role. And then what does that equal to? A promotion, right? Elevation, just because you add value in other ways outside of just doing what you do.
If you did have to narrow it down, though, you would say linebacker was what you mastered, right?
Well, I would say special teams. I mean, I was a Pro Bowler on special teams. People forget that for as well. When I was in Washington, it was me, Slater, and a handful of other guys that really set the tone on special teams. And I know special teams normally gets kicked under the rug until something goes wrong, right? That big return, right? That punt,
missed field goal, yeah,
right. But those other times where you got one chance to go out there and do your job, I was one of those guys being able to do it at an elite level. And then, of course, I would say outside backer, especially later in my career, after going up against guys like we talked about on Monday, like a Trent Williams in practice all the time, or Chris Samuels all the time, and getting that second opportunity to be a starter and an everyday starter, including third downs, not getting kicked off the field by Brian Orakpo after he got his rest on first and second down, and then the pass rush down come in. He talking about come out, right? In Buffalo, I got an opportunity to do all 3 downs.
Yeah,
and it really able to showcase my talent as a pass rusher.
Okay, all right. See, I'm learning more about you now, Zoe. Yeah. I didn't realize that you have more pride in your special teams work than you did, and was probably more glorified with your linebacker work with the Bills. But let's get to the Niners, shall we? Monday night, we spoke before the game.
Yeah.
Now after the game, do you walk away from, okay, I'm getting yelled at mainly by my producer, Nate, and other people that are big Niners fans around here. We're in Sacramento. I do not walk away from either of those games feeling any less confident in the San Francisco 49ers than I did prior. Did you walk away from that game thinking a little less about them?
No, I mean, it's the NFL, and so obviously you're not going to win them all. It's really hard to play, especially when you come up against a good team as well. Kirk Cousins, I think, doesn't get the flowers that he always deserves, and he played a really good game. But I would say Brock Purdy showed me something that I hadn't seen. And so I may be a little, and they were bad throws. I mean, especially that one that kind of sealed the game off. I didn't understand it. And so I say this as well. I don't know if the receivers ran the wrong route or that was just a horrible throw. And so obviously they know that internally more than what we know. But I was shocked that he wasn't able to do or be a little bit more efficient in the moment to get them in an opportunity to win that game like he did the week prior. But they'll be fine. They got great coaching, great players, right? They had several guys out, and this is a game of attrition. So you get guys back healthy, finish the season off strong. I tell you what, that boy Christian McCaffrey, I hate that he went to Stanford, but he was out there looking like a dog as usual, even though he was a little banged up. And so these guys, it's a good football team, and good football teams get beat from time to time, right? I don't know when was the last undefeated, Super Bowl champion, right? 1972.
Dolphins.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So y'all, all that show, you know about them. Name 5 people on that team, man. Since it's your team.
Let's see. The running back, Sammy something. Sammy something.
Oh no,
Bob Greasy. Hang on. Give me a second.
Yeah,
Give me a second.
All
You're
right.
putting me on the spot. Bob Greasy was the quarterback. Zonka was the
there you
fullback
go.
/ running back.
Got your phone in your hand?
Who's the guy that drinks the champagne every time?
Okay.
Sammy something.
All right. Okay.
He
You
was the
don't
wide
know.
receiver.
You think you would know? You would think you would. That's Miami's only Super Bowl.
I wasn't
right?
born then, Zoe.
But
You
is it-
can't
but
hold
is
that.
it- But is it Miami's only Super Bowl, or do they have multiples?
They have a ton. They've got like 4.
After 72?
Oh, after I don't know. But they're a historic franchise.
That's what I'm saying. You should know those people on those teams, right? Just
Mercury Morris. That's a guy.
All right.
I'm not even Googling it. Now I'm going to Google it.
Somebody's helping you in your ear. He's helping you.
No,
So-
I swear to God, that was all me. Mercury Morris, Bob Greasy, and Zonka are the only 3 that I can name. How many did you ask me to name? 4?
5.
5? Yeah, I couldn't. I got 3 though. That's pretty good.
42 starters. So you think
I wasn't born.
But my point, because I didn't know you was a
Because
dog.
that teams don't win every game. Got it.
Yeah, right. You're not. Right. It's a hard league. You're missing guys certain weeks. Sometimes teams have your number, have a great game plan. Some guys play outside themselves in a specific game. Some guys don't show up as they're expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we saw from Purdy last night. He did something that was uncharacteristic of what he's shown us over the prior games that he's played in. And so it happens. So do you panic? No. Do you hate that you lost as a team? Yes. But they're going to move on and be fine moving forward because they have great talent, great coaching, and they play hard.
I did get Mercury Morris right. He was a running back. I got Zonka right. I got Greasy right. And can I count Shula? I mean, I knew Shula was the coach. That's not a player, though. And then wide receivers, Howard Twilley.
Well, you didn't remember them. You
Paul
can count anybody you
Warfield,
want to now. You're reading it.
Marlon. I'm admitting that I'm reading it now. But I didn't know any of these guys. Linebackers, Doug Swift. That's a great linebacker name. Nick Bunacotti, Mike Colin, Larry Ball, defensive backs, Tim Foley, Curtis Jackson. Curtis Jackson, isn't that a 50 Cent's name?
That is 50 Cent's name, but that's also a broadcast.
Shout out 50 Cent. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get that.
No,
all right.
no.
But when you look at that Monday night game, though, so do you point more to the defense or the offense? Because I've been getting killed for this, and apparently the amount of points that NFL teams are playing are a lot lower than I thought. I thought it would be a much higher number. But when you let up 22 points, you being a defensive stalwart that you were with the Bills, when you let up 22, don't you expect to win?
Yeah, 22, I mean, in the new era is probably good enough to win a game, especially with the offensive weapons that the 49ers have. But they were down some guys, right? Debo didn't play. Trent Williams was out. You still had Christian out there.
Offense. Yeah.
Right. But they got to put up points, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. They got to put up points.
Mm-hmm.
So you say is 22 points enough? Not if your offense is depleted. If your offense is depleted, maybe you only can give up 10 to 14 points. I guess is what I'm saying. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I know when we played, our goal every week was 17 points, 17, 18 points, which is probably increased now because to your point, offense is typically up, even though this year has been a historically down year if you compare the last 5 to 10 years of offensive production as far as points scored. So, I mean, yes, that's good enough, but it wasn't good enough this week. And so that's all you can really gauge it off on, and there's always a handful of plays when you go back and watch the film where you could have prevented a touchdown. Maybe you make them kick a field goal. Maybe get off the field. Maybe there was a penalty, right, that led to an extended drive, which led to a field goal or a touchdown. And so those are the things that you want to be able to minimize because it is hard, to your point, to keep guys out of the end zone in this new era when everything is geared to the offense and you have a top-tier quarterback in Kirk Cousins, even though he don't get a lot of love, and his ability to play well. And for him, his thing is he hasn't played well on when the lights are on, Monday Night Football, Sunday night, playoffs. He actually showed up.
Yeah, and what I want to pick your brain about, and we'll do this coming up next, is in terms of your time in different organizations, like where exactly would Shanahan and Lynch be? Because they've been successful, but if winning the Super Bowl is the standard, then where exactly do those people stand? I know you've seen a lot of turnovers though, so we'll get into that. We'll get into that coming up next, just kind of like what the feeling is in the building, because I know in terms of those guys, and specifically Shanahan, who was up, we should also always mention 28-3 in the Super Bowl, Atlanta and the Patriots, like what the feel is in terms of the job security of those guys. We'll talk about that next. Lorenzo Alexander, Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, not going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube.
Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Welcome back, Sacramento. I am Zakariah. This is Sactown Sports 1140. Follow my co-host for the next 45 minutes at One Man Gang 97 on Twitter. Check out his website, LorenzoAlexander.org. Lorenzo, I was into the break talking to you about what does it feel like when you don't know how people's jobs are? Now, Shanahan and Lynch got extended, as they should. They've had a lot of success without the Super Bowl, but you've been in a lot of tumultuous situations, if you will, times where, how does that go as a player?
I mean, you got to learn to compartmentalize things, right? And as a player, you only can control what you can control. And obviously what you're doing on the field is part of the reason why your coaches or GMs may be in that position, right? But it typically starts from the top as far as just having a great culture, a clear vision, and be able to communicate that and set up a structure with practice and all the things to get prepared for a game that is going to allow your players to prepare well. And typically, from a leadership standpoint, there's a break in that process somewhere that then impacts us as players. And we'll still, have to go out there and do our jobs, which can be really hard at times, especially when you're being asked about it, whether it's from friends, family, media. Now you can be on social media. And it's just another thing you have to sometimes put energy into, especially if you're, one of the captains or a leader on the team or a media guy where people are constantly asking you about, X, Y, Z. I think over time I learned how to kind of be, give you the media speech, be able to compartmentalize that and still be able to go out and do my job. And so it's not like I ever was at practice or it's 3rd and 8 or I'm about to run down the kickoff and I'm like, dang, man, if I don't make a play here, my coach may get fired, right? That's not how you think, man. You're in the moment, you're playing the game, you're prepping. right? Those things kind of happen off, and it's like it takes energy from your week, maybe from recovering or trying to do some other stuff or just another mental thing you have to worry about. But when you're in the heat of the battle, when you are focused, it's really not even a thought that crosses my mind at all. Now, maybe the GM or the head coaches is sitting over there because they're kind of not in the fire, like, dang, if this doesn't go down right, I may get fired or this may be my last game. But it never impacted me as a player as far as my mentality and what I was thinking about as I was preparing or playing the game.
How often do they ever even pick your brain on that? Like, did you ever have a conversation with ownership about the GM or the coach about the GM or the GM about the coach? Like, do they ever even ask you?
No, we've had situations and this for a player, this typically happens later in your career. And I was fortunate enough to be around to year 15, where actually I was the same age as some of my position coaches, if not older, at certain parts, right? And then so I had a different relationship with Joe Gibbs when I'm 21 and he's like, 65, 70 than I had with Sean McDermott and I was 36 and he was like 40, right? 41.
Yeah.
So the conversations, the respect level that I had with Sean McDermott about insight, how he was running the team, what did I saw in some of our veteran or young players, what I saw in some of our assistant coaches was much different, was more intimate. And he took what I, kind of picked my brain as another information source because I had been around. Like to your point, I've seen bad coaches. I've seen good coaches. I've seen great ownership. I've seen bad ownership, right? And so just relying on some of my experiences, he would ask me about, but never did I have a GM or even the owner necessarily ask me about coaching jobs specifically, but more about culture and maybe who is living up to it or maybe who's not living up to it in a sense of like assistants or players, but never about themselves, right? They don't ever want to ask about themselves, but that's neither here nor there. But I did have owners like, doing this like the social justice, that we had like talk about how can we make our organization better, more reflective of what people are talking about in our league. I've had that, right, where they're talking about themselves. How can I be more accountable to our community? So it just depends on the ownership, where you're at as a player, how open they are as far as asking for advice. But I have been on some of those type of conversations.
Now, when it comes to expectations in terms of the building, right? So like for the Niners, there's been, bang, bang, Niner gang, hashtag, quest for 6, all this stuff. So I have, just like nobody cares about your fantasy football team, nobody cares about your text threads, but I have text threads with people that are diehard Niners fans, and a lot of them want Shanahan to go. So I guess what I'm asking you is, when the expectation is from you have seen like the bottom of the bottom, right, in terms of organizations, coaches, and winning and losing and stuff like that, but getting from that to habitually making the playoffs, but then the expectation is making the playoffs, even damn near the Super Bowl, is not enough. You have to win it all. How does that factor in to the job security of the GM and the coach?
Yeah, and it goes back to ownership, and you have to, and our culture has changed and dictated a lot of this stuff as far as, right, instead of having years to kind of cultivate and build your team and your roster, and you have chemistry and all of this history together and eventually achieving that, which may take 7 to 10 years. Right now, you're expected to come in and do it to 2 or 3 years. Some of that is free agency. Some of that is culture. Like you can build a team really quickly, but you want to sustain success, right? Because you just don't want to win a championship and actually go back into the hole and become irrelevant again. I look at some of the historic franchises, probably Pittsburgh being the one at the top that has several championships, right? I think they have 5-ish, somewhere in that range, right? And they've only had 3 head coaches throughout their tenure, right? And every year, they're always relevant. They're always in the picture, right? Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season. He always is giving his team an opportunity to get in. And then you can flip the side. Let me give a good example. Maybe like a Bruce Arians, right, who never made a Super Bowl either when he was in Arizona, but played a lot of good football, right? And something happened there, organizationally, then he's no longer there. And then they fall off the map, right? And he comes back on the scene and does it in Tampa, obviously, with Tom Brady. But now Arizona is kind of fluctuating again because they had a guy that was really good doing his job at a high level. Him and the GM were lock in step, kind of like what we see here with Kyle and John being lock in step in the history they have, the understanding, the relationship, which is probably the most important thing. A lot of things burn down in the NFL because there's egos and a lack of understanding from top down. So whether that's head coach GM, head coach DC OC, right? Head coach DC OC, the staff, right? You got some big egos. They don't know how to have hard conversations in a positive way. There's normally a breakdown there, then the players can feel that. So when you have like this unique molding of OC or head coach and GM that is going to give you an opportunity to win every single year in this league where it's hard to win every single year, you want to keep that because now you got a shot at the apple every single year. And and people, if you don't win it, they want to get rid of you. Right. But it's hard to win in this league. I think people don't really understand how hard it is to be relevant in the NFL every single year, what you have to put into it, the hours, the film, putting your body through stuff. Right. It's really drooling. And then you got to hear all this criticism from folks. They don't have a clue about the game. Don't have a clue about scheme. Right. Don't have a clue about how to make adjustments. You ask them, hey, well, so what would you do? They'd be, I don't know. Right. And so, so for some of them folks, they need to sit down, be quiet, right? Maybe read a book for dummies, 101, football 101, right? And really gain your knowledge base before you start throwing all this criticism, right? Understand the why behind people, why they do things. It's easy to criticize. What you doing? You coaching? No. So be quiet, chill, sit on the sideline, man. Either cheer or boo, but I don't want to hear you telling me how to do my job.
Yeah, no, and Zoe, to your point, it is so hard to win a Super Bowl, especially in football where there's not 7-game series. Right? I mean, it's one game and things can go wrong on all. You talked about how you take the most pride in your special teams work, special teams, offense, defense. Things can go wrong anywhere. It's so hard to even get to the Super Bowl, let alone win a Super Bowl. Like nobody puts respect on the Bills' names with Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed and Jim Kelly to get to 4 straight Super Bowls, even though you didn't win one, is impossible to do. Basically, like. I don't think you'll see a team get to 4 straight Super Bowls. So in terms of what Shanahan and Lynch are doing, like that's the part that's crazy to me. It's like, I get it. Quest for 6, you got to win it. If you don't win it, no participation trophies, all that good stuff. But the bottom line is it's really hard to get that far. And if you're getting that far, those people should be retained.
Yeah. I mean, and then who are you going to bring in that's going to elevate you, right? What are you missing, right? What's going to elevate you to that next level?
Yep.
And so that's what I want to ask. Who would you want to come in that's going to take Purdy and do something different, or take this defense and do something different, right? Yep. And so last year, I mean, would you want to create a quarterback in the lab somewhere and put him out there when you're down to your 5th string quarterback? I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? So some of this is out of his control as well, and people got to use their brain instead of their emotions sometimes when it comes to really evaluating the type of job that Kyle has done and just coaches in general, and really see what they're up against.
Coming up next, I can't believe we're already here, but it is week 8, NFL fans, and we will go over the matchups, including Lorenzo. Yeah, his Bills. They're playing Thursday night against Baker Mayfield. I don't know what to make of this team. You know what I mean?
Me either.
So but I'm going to ask you to make sense of them. Yeah. We'll do that next. Zakariah, Lorenzo Alexander, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Homecoming night for Sacramento State football this Saturday versus Idaho State Bengals. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early and enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Your Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday night against the Idaho State Bengals. It is homecoming at Sac State, so arrive early and enjoy the homecoming festivities. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m., and let's pack Hornet Stadium as the top-ranked Hornets compete for a Big Sky championship. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. Get your tickets now to secure your spot at Hornet Stadium for this Big Sky showdown. You can get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. The World Series is set starting this Friday. The Arizona Diamondbacks will be taking on the Texas Rangers. First pitch for that game will be at about 5 p.m. And your Sacramento Kings are back. The big news, they are in Utah to play the Jazz. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Huerter will get the start. All this excitement begins with game night at 4:30. You got Scott Marsh and Henry Turner. Tip-off with the G-Man, 6 p.m. Don't forget, all guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Speaking of guests, we have Lorenzo Alexander for another 30 minutes with Zakariah on the Midday Show.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Yes, sir. Boom. Had to let it drop. You know what I mean? Welcome back, Sacramento. I am Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140. Coming up at 1145, I'm going to have fun with my guy. Now, I call him a friend. I don't think he would call me a friend. Like, if he was talking to his wife, he wouldn't say Zakariah's my friend. But he's my friend. Can you have a friend? Put that on the poll, Nate. Can you put that on the poll? Can you have a friend that doesn't consider you a friend? Because it's a one-way street for sure. But I love the guy, and I'm going to go around a different part of the sports world. Now, he is a football guru, okay?
Before you do all this, man, is a friend a guy that only calls him when he needs me to co-host the show with him or a podcast? Is that a friend? I don't know. I mean, you tell me, but I'll go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your.
No, that's a good point. Like, I don't call you just to see like how you're doing.
No, I've never.
But you don't call me to see how I'm doing.
No, I'll see you when I see you, man.
I see you when I see you.
I got 4 kids, man. Right? Man, I got
2 boys, 2 girls.
On here, man.
2 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I see you. Anyways, let's get to the NFL Week 8. Can't believe that we're already here. October 26th is when it will kick off. That would be mañana. Your Bills, Zoe. I mean, I guess they're your Bills. I see you more as a Washington franchise football guy.
I played there longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you were better with the Bills. That's when you got your Pro Bowl and your money.
I got my Pro Bowl with Washington, too. Stop hating on my special teams Pro Bowl.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't count that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I don't.
Okay.
And it's not only one guy can get it.
All right, let's do an exercise. Let's do an exercise. If I told you going into the year, who are the Super Bowl contenders? I would have had the Bills in there, along with assuming the calf is healthy of the Bengals. I would have the Bengals, the Bills, I guess the Dolphins. I would have the Chiefs, obviously, Mahomes, and then I would have Eagles and Niners. But the Bills are in there. So why are the Bills, why do they have the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing going?
I mean, I think there's a couple of different things going on right now. I think the main thing from a defensive perspective are the injuries. I mean, Matt Milano's down, Tre'Davious White is down, and Daquan Jones, right? That's 3 different levels that have been hit pretty hard, right? And you have a year where Tremaine Edmonds is no longer out there either, right? In free agency, lost him in free agency. And so you have a young inside linebacker group that is currently playing, and you have young corners, right? In a league where you have to be able to cover at a high rate. And so they've had some issues being able to lock down guys. And that's why I'm kind of worried about this game with, Mike Evans being out there.
Oh, you're not worried, Zoe. You're not worried.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, you're not. You're not worried.
They're playing a good football team. People that are playing above themselves right now on a short week. So short weeks suck. It's week 8. People are hurting right now.
Okay. So, now, Niners fans hate me in this area because I've been saying that they're going to win comfortably the past 2 weeks. The Bills are going to win comfortably against the Bucs. You're not losing to the Bucs.
I didn't say losing.
Okay.
I just said worried, right?
Close game?
If all football games are close for the most part, unless the Denver Broncos. But I mean, but they're close, right? You made the score, but you still got to go out there and compete, right? There's always like a handful of plays that lead to, whether this is a 2-touchdown game, like 10, I beat you by 10, or I may beat you by 7 or 6, and you got an opportunity to maybe score at the end of the game to tie it up. That's typically where most of the NFL kind of lies, right? That's why sports betting is so cool. That's why, people want the red zone because they want to be able to bounce around, because all these games typically come down to 1-score games at the end. With a high percentage of them being 3-point games. Okay. So that's what, and then on a short week, you don't really have time to really dive in, prepare, and then also feel good coming out. And so the Bills are also dealing with Dawson Knox going down too on the offensive side of the ball. And so there's just a lot of things going on. And Josh, to me, right, he'll be fine. It just hasn't seemed like his self lately. Whatever that may be going on, whatever they evaluate, it just doesn't seem the same.
This is what I got from you. Bills by 14. Let's move on. Rams Cowboys. I have never picked your brain about the Cowboys. They came out like
the Cowboys. Let's not talk about the Cowboys because they are who we thought they were, and they're doing the same exact thing. I think Stephen A. I fall much more in line with Stephen A. when it comes with the Cowboys and who they are and what they're going to do.
Do you just hate the Cowboys?
I don't necessarily. Yeah, I don't like the brand of the Cowboys. I like some of the guys. I like the guys, right?
So they're not contenders.
But they're no.
Okay.
No, they're two. You talking about Jekyll and Hyde. You talking about all over the place. You not know what they're going to get.
Okay.
Right? A team
I didn't know
that-
you had strong feelings about the Cowboys. I'm learning this about you, Zoe.
Well, you didn't say I was tied to the Washington football team, the Commanders, right?
Oh,
You played
yeah,
a
same
lot of
division. Yeah, I
battles,
got
right?
you. I got you.
And then America's team, you got then Jerry Jones, the way he's a master marketer, but he just rubs me the wrong way.
Okay.
People that have never even been to Dallas. Oh, I love the Cowboys. I went to London. I love the Cowboys. I'm like, why? They're America's team. No, they're not. I mean, when's the last Super Bowl they've been to?
94? 94?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So, it is what it is.
All right, let's move on. I didn't know that you were going to be so strong anti-Cowboy. Let's move on. Vikings, Packers. Is this finally the breaking point of the Green Bay franchise having a dominant quarterback for, I believe, the entirety of my life? Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Is Jordan Love not the guy? What does Zoe say?
I don't know if he's the guy or not. He has the potential to become a guy, but he's not. I don't know if he's going to be. It would be, I don't know, astronomically, probably the numbers for him to be another Hall of Famer, to have 3 Hall of Famers back to back to back like that.
Probably not going to happen. He's breaking the streak, right?
So I'm going to say he is not going to be the guy. I think he has the potential to be good, but not Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre-esque, where he's leading his team week in and week out to Super Bowls. He can be a part of it, but he won't be it.
Falcons, Titans. Now, some people are really big on the Falcons, and they've been heavy on the run. And what your thoughts are on Ritter, I would love to hear. The Titans, though, is what I'd like to focus on. Tannehill just was not it. He was a guy that got a fat contract because they did well and played well against the Chiefs in the playoffs, but ultimately not a franchise quarterback.
Who do they have outside? Who do they have on the outside these days?
Say again?
Who does Tennessee Titans? Who do they have on the outside?
Hopkins is, that was their signing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? Hopkins.
Well, they traded A.J. Brown for God knows what reason.
Well, that's my point, and that's when he went off the
I know that's when he got his contract.
It's the same way Diggs helped Josh Allen ascend to this new level, right? This game is not an individual, right? There's a few guys that can, whoever you line up out there, they can make look like they're top tier players.
Yeah,
that's really hard to do, and so that's what I say. Tannehill is a solid QB, right? But he needs the weapons outside of the King to help him be able to be the prolific passer that he was when they had A.J. Brown out there, the King running that rock, and then being able to do some play action stuff with Tannehill. So I think that's been more of their demise, getting rid of a top tier QB or receiver. And now they have Hopkins, who is, I would say, was a great player, but because I think some of his habits as far as not practicing, I think that's finally catching up to him the older you get, right? The rhythm of the game and being in tune with the quarterback that you're playing with, maybe no longer be able to create the same type of separation that you once did when you're a little bit younger. You have to really understand the game, and I think that's kind of why he's not the same tier of receiver that he once was. So it's not going to be the same.
We're going to wrap up this hour. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball to my good friend. I'm not his good friend, but he's my good friend.
Well, I can say this. You do try to get me paid, even though it's not, it's kind of like little pay, but I'll take the pay. I appreciate you. You do at least.
Venmo's coming your way, bud. I got you covered. But I'm going to throw some curveballs at you. I'm going to ask you about basketball.
Where's my Venmo?
I'm going to ask you about it's coming right after the show on my ride home back to the Bay Area. It's coming. But I'm going to ask you about basketball. I'm going to ask you about baseball. And this is what I want you to think about in the break. I want you to think about, because you were talking about how A.J. Brown got Ryan Tannehill paid. Who did you get paid? Who did you do such a good job that somebody else got the credit for? Think about that. We will come back with that. Zakariah, Lorenzo Alexander, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The two-game NBA journey begins Wednesday for the Sacramento Kings.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
But G-Man Gary Gerald has all the play-by-play Wednesday of season number 39 in Sacramento.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker.
It's the Kings and Jazz in the season opener from Utah.
He's got the three-point shot.
Wednesday at 6 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
It's the sponsor of the drive of the game, Jiffy Lube, our old friends, our dear friends, Jiffy Lube. With winter coming up, listen, all kinds of things. Obviously, oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations. You get your air filters replaced. Make sure you winterize your vehicle. For more information, of course, you can go to jiffylube.com and make sure you tune in after each and every Kings game for the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. For more info, once again, go to jiffylube.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
What's up? I'm here with Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Jeep Adventure Days?
With gas prices skyrocketing, good gas mileage is more important now than ever. And right now, you can save up to $11,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport S 4xe plug-in hybrid.
Okay, but what about hauling my family around?
Well, save even more with up to $14,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4xe plug-in hybrid. Great mileage and big savings on one of America's most loved SUVs.
These deals can't last long. Hurry into the Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Center or see their full inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
11,000 total Wrangler 4xe net savings on lease only after 8,500 factory rebates and 2,500 dealer discount. 14,000 total Grand Cherokee 4xe net savings on lease only after 11,500 factory rebates and 2,500 dealer discount. Lease options subject to credit approval. Not everyone will qualify. Rebates include 7,500 federal tax credit rebate. Subject to change without notice. 5 at each net savings. See dealer for details.
Guys, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making you this guarantee. We will improve the medical condition of your ED or low T, or we'll give you your money back. Book your free appointment today. Call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
The one, the only, Lorenzo Alexander joins us. Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140. Call or join the show. People mad so at me for having football guys on. Look, football is king. Sorry. 916-339-1140. Lorenzo Alexander played pretty much every position in football. He also came down to freshman football to dominate a Piedmont team. Shout out to anybody from Piedmont that's listening right now. We beat the brakes off of you. That game, what was the score of that game? I want to say it was like 48-0, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that too.
You had at least 4 touchdowns. I'd put the over-under at like 5.5 on your touchdowns, and I would take the over. You were amazing. You were incredible. I don't even know. Had you ever played running back prior to that?
Probably not. No, maybe a little bit on JV,
Because all we did was hand you the ball.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, but it was dope, man. I told you, man, they got to let the big boys eat a little bit. Big boys be balling. I know you see Swag News segment, right? Big boys be balling, man.
You were a man amongst boys in that game. Pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I remember.
Just for the people that think I'm just a football guy, I did play hoop. I was a baseball player too. I was a multi-sport athlete. So I know a little bit about everything.
Okay, stop bragging, Zoe. You've got enough accolades. Stop bragging.
Hey, man,
all I was doing was putting up the touchdown sign on the sideline.
Yeah. Was you was our quarterback at that point, or was J-Dub there?
I think it was Dub. Yeah, I think I was the backup. I was the tight end. I was the outside linebacker. I was terrible. Football was not my thing. Basketball is my jam. You know what I mean? Anyways, you were fantastic. But now I'm going to test your sports knowledge, Zoe. So let's do some sports that you're not exactly dialed into. Now we are on Sacramento radio. So tell the people your thoughts. I'm just going to throw this out there blindly. Tell me
about the Kings.
Tell me your thoughts about the Kings.
That's what you're going to ask me?
Yep.
I actually like the Kings. I mean, it's a young team, right? I'm in here at Phoenix, so I got a chance to see that matchup head-to-head last year, and I think they are going in the right direction. I mean, you got some young studs over there that can play. They got a little dog and mentality to them. Wasn't scared of D-Book and KD. And so I think they'll be just fine.
Okay. And then your thoughts from last night. Obviously, we had the reigning champion Nuggets defeating the Lakers in that game. LeBron had some funny comments. Now, to me,
daddy.
I wasn't going to go there. We are going to play that audio later. Yeah. That's not where I was going to go with you, though, because I think you retired too early, Zoe.
No, my body retired just on time, man.
Okay, but you did that for strategical reasons.
Yes.
You could still play at a high level.
I probably could have played another 2 or 3 years at a high level, yes.
Exactly. And you did it because of being smart about your body and your brain or whatever. We don't need to go into that conversation. But when it comes to LeBron, how long you think he's going to go? He's my age. He's 40, Zoe.
Yeah, we both 40. I mean, he can go as long as he wants to. I mean, in a league, I mean, obviously there's a lot of pounding up and down, right? But it's not like it's a collision sport.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron has resources to things that I wouldn't even pay for, as far as, hyperbaric chambers, people cooking for him, people, that probably travel with him to make sure that his body is going to be maintained. For him, it's probably more about just the mental aspect of having to be locked in every single season. But he loves the game, and his why he's continuing to play is to play with his sons, potentially. So that's a different type of motivator, right? If I had a chance to play with my son in 3 years, I probably would have muscled him a couple of more years out, right? So I get to go out there and play with my son. Oh yeah. That would be the coolest thing ever to do. Is to be.
You're going like Griffey, Bonds.
Yeah, but be on the field, but be on the court. It's different. Baseball is even a little different because you're not actually out there unless you're in the outfield together. But to be like, I'm rushing one side and my son is on the other side rushing, and we both get collaborate on a sack.
Yeah.
Or that would be a dope moment. For me, then I could walk off after I did that, right? I'm done. I see peace. I see you, right? So I can understand why he wants to continue to play, to be able to do something like that, because that's a special moment. And as fathers, right, if you have, sons, you would realize, you understand what that motivating factor is.
Are you also saying, Zoe, though, that if football was not your sport, you would have played longer?
I could play longer. If I wasn't playing football, if I was a baseball player, could I still be playing? Yeah, of course. The wear and tear is just different. And I'm a grinder, right? So my body is built for it. I played 15 years and I was hitting cats, old school two-a-days, right? And I rarely had injuries. So I definitely could have played another sport that was less physical a lot longer.
Man. So a big part of your decision to walk away from the sport was that it was football.
Correct. My brain. I want to have my
wits about you.
I want to have my chickens, all together when I'm, 60, 65, 70, and I'm enjoying my grandkids and still around the game, right? I want to be productive. I don't want to have a fruitless life. You got all these resources and people around you, but you can't enjoy them like you want to.
Okay, I hate to go down this route, but we have to now. In terms of like the movie Concussion, did you watch that, and how much of that is real?
I don't really remember the movie Concussion. I mean, obviously CTE is real, right? And you cannot
Junior Seau, right?
You cannot assess it until after the person has passed away, right? But there's signs of it, right? A severe change in personality. And I think we have a couple of players that are walking around right now with it. Obviously you think about Junior Seau, but there's also some guys that are showing
Antonio Brown, right?
AB, Chandler Jones. There's some guys that are dealing with some stuff mentally that even if it may not be full-blown CTE, right? There's things that have changed in their disposition mentally that have made them susceptible to some behavior that is not of them, right? If you talk to people that knew them earlier in their careers, like I don't seem the same. Like I knew Chandler. I'm like, man, some of the stuff he's doing doesn't add up to the guy that I know. So it's real, right? I think there's ways of mitigating certain things. That's why the safety stuff has been put in place. That's why I think it's such a huge responsibility for coaches on the youth level to coach the game the proper way, fundamentally sound, taking the head out of the game, right, to minimize some of those things. But would I play football over again knowing that? Yes, I would. I mean, it's given me resources. It's given me relationships. It has given me the ability to impact my community in a positive way. And it's something that I loved. I was passionate about it. And I'm going to let my sons play it as well. But the thing is try to do it in the best way, right? There's a lot of things that we do that aren't safe, right, that we don't talk about. But football is such glorified, right? So I would definitely, still let my kids play. But it's just the right way about going about playing the game and coaching the game.
Well, let's wrap up with your passion, which is the gridiron. And when I tell you, Zoe, that the worst 4-2 team in the league is the Pittsburgh Steelers, you say what?
Who else is 4-2? I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I like
They're terrible, Zoe.
I wouldn't say they're terrible. 4-2. Who else is 4-2? Throw out the other 4-2 teams.
Dolphins are 5-2.
Seattle.
Baltimore's 5-2.
Yep.
The Browns are 4-2. The Jaguars are 5-2. The Eagles are 6-1. The Cowboys are 4-2. The Lions are 5-2, and the Seahawks are 4-2. The Steelers stink, Zoe. They stink.
Maybe on paper.
Yeah.
I'm a Cowboys hater though, and I don't believe in them. I believe in my team.
Steelers stink.
I believe in Mike Tomlin. I believe that he can.
I would run through a brick wall for Mike Tomlin. I love Tomlin. This is not about Tomlin. This is about the team.
It is about Tomlin.
No, the team stinks.
Some people have the ability to make people play above who you think they are, right?
Okay.
And this season is a season of longevity. I was on a team that was 6-2 before and did not make the playoffs.
Oof.
Okay. And our
What year was that?
Our leadership wasn't very good. If you take a look, you will find the 8-8 season in there. I believe it was Jim Zorn, right? Great dude, great guy, but wasn't, I don't think, a head coach.
Not a great leader of men.
Right, but he could do a room. He could coach up his position, quarterback, and do all those type of things. But then there's some cats, you start 0-4, 2-4, and you just steadily building and can make you play above what you look like on paper. And by the end of the year, you look up like, how did we get in the playoffs like this with this team, right? Sean McDermott is a guy like that for me. Mike Tomlin is a guy like that for me. I've seen enough of the Dallas Cowboys and what they've done with every head coach and fade away into the abyss, and you think they're Super Bowl champions every year, but Fade away, first round loss, right? So I'm always going to rock Mike T versus anybody in this league. So they're down there, right, just because of their production. But if I had to pick between them and the Cowboys, I'm gonna go with Mike T and the Steelers.
Okay, Dallas Cowboys plus 54-point differential. Your Pittsburgh Steelers minus 24-point differential. They're the worst. They're the worst 4-2 team in the league. Just admit that before we sign off. Okay.
Let's take a look at those first couple of weeks and who Dallas was playing.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so let's those numbers. See,
Giants,
about how you like
Jets,
to use little numbers to make it seem like a team is all legit, better than what they are. They came into Arizona and got smacked. So let's keep it real now. Are the Arizona Cardinals a playoff team? Are they doing something special? Kyler Murray ain't even playing.
I'll admit this. You have forgotten more football than I'll ever know. On his Twitter handle, he's a lot more humble than he should be. He's a man after God's heart. He's a husband, father, brother, friend. 2 Timothy 1:7 on Instagram at OneManGang97. Check out his website, LorenzoAlexander.org. He's a Cal Bear. He is a Pro Bowler. He played like 97 different positions in the league, and that's the number that's at the end of One Man Gang. Lorenzo, I appreciate you, sir. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, hit me up, man. Anytime you want me on, I'll slide through if I can.
There you go, Lorenzo Alexander. And I'll slide up in his PayPal or Venmo.
Do that. I need them to take my kids to lunch today.
I got you. Movies, all that good stuff.
Don't make me fly out to the Bay.
All right, so yeah, I know you will pull up on me, and I don't want that smoke. I do not want that smoke. Yeah. All right, coming up next, top of the hour. As we get you into the PM portion of your day, we'll talk to another Pro Bowler, other side of the football, and we'll get his thoughts on the NFL thus far. And I promise you, all you Kings fans yelling at me on the chat line and all that good stuff, I promise you it's coming for you. I will have basketball talk. I'm a basketball guy. You know what I mean? Zachariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Okay, everyone, gather around. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel, you can go all in for fun and all out.
Hey, Lincoln, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Oh, hold on. I'm not hearing you. 1 sec. Hey, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Yeah, great. I'm Nate Littlefield. I'm the producer over here. I just wanted to check in. Good. Appreciate you. I'm a fan of your calls. I board up a lot of the Raiders games when we had them.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cool. Well, we're going to be coming out of break here in about 3 minutes, and Zakariah will bring you up. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
How far do you hit your 7-iron? Writer Josh Senn says it has implications for your enjoyment of the game as well as your pace of play. In a survey of 700 PGA and LPGA professionals, they say roughly 75% of female golfers and 50% of males play from distances that exceed their ability. Rounds are time-consuming and the game becomes less fun. The PGA, LPGA, and USGA spent years crunching numbers, surveying players, and reached guidelines based on your 7-iron distance. If you hit your 7-iron 140 yards, best course length is 5,900 to 6,100 yards. If your 7-iron goes 125 yards, play from 5,400 to 5,600 yards. If you bash your 7-iron 170 yards, play wherever you want. On a recent golf trip to Grey Eagle, the G-Man Gary Gerald and I moved up a tee and thoroughly enjoyed ourselves hitting greens and putting for birdies. Give it a try and see if you don't have more fun. But the putting, well, that's on you. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings are back. They're in Utah to play the Jazz. No pun intended. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Huerter will get the start. All this excitement begins with game night at 4:30. You got Scott Marsh and Henry Turner for that. Tip-off with the G-Man, 6 p.m. Don't forget, all callers and all guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. And more guests for you today on this midday show. We have Lincoln Kennedy joining Zakariah right now.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube.
Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Big link in the building. Welcome back, Sacramento. I am Zakariah, Sactown Sports 1140 on Twitter at LKennedy72, Raider color commentator at Compass Media Network analyst at Pac-12 Network. We talk sports, all that good stuff. Fox Sports Radio ish. LKCGars.com. My guy, Lincoln Kennedy. What's up, Big Link? How are you, sir?
What's happening, Zach? How you doing, brother?
No complaints, man. You want to talk some football or what?
I believe that's the reason why you have me here, right? Unless you want to talk cigars or culinary efforts, I'm not sure where you want to go.
Cigars.
This is your show.
Cigars. You know who's a big cigar guy is Steve Harvey. Did you know that?
I did know that. Yes,
okay, you should I don't know, reach out to him.
Oh,
he probably responded.
There's an idea.
Yeah, I'll be your agent. All I want is like 7%.
7%.
We're gonna talk football here in a second, but now I want to talk college football. And specifically, am I allowed as a Cal Bear? I just had Lorenzo Alexander on the airwaves. He's a Cal Bear. Am I allowed as a Cal Bear to adopt your Washington Huskies as my squad? Because I love them, and I am all about the Heisman for Penix.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that, obviously, and I'm sure Michael Penix does as well for his Heisman hopes. But, to be honest, when you're a fan of the game, you're supposed to stay with your team through thick or thin.
But they stink, Link.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but at the same point, you still have to stick with them. I mean, you're a Cal Bear. I would never, if Washington was down, let me just put it this way: I would never jump on the Oregon bandwagon, SC bandwagon, or anybody else that I didn't like. And conference the foes are supposed to be, eternal. So Cal's supposed to have a disdain towards Washington and vice versa.
Okay, so it's faux pas. I understand that. I'm usually one of those loyal guys.
Yeah.
Like but in this instance, when my Cal Bears have been so bad, since the time that I was actually there, Link, was when they had Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch and Deshaun Jackson and Javid Best and all that good stuff. That was when I was going to school there.
Right.
But they've been so bad for so long that I guess it's maybe like a Pac-12 love of why I love Washington now.
Well, I
don't know.
Yeah, that is sustainable. I mean, that is granted. That's given. You can do that, Pac-12 love, because you would like the conference to be able to showcase itself. And let's face it, for what it's worth, Zach, the Pac-12 has been down in the national eyes for so long, and I've been one of those mouthpieces that have been arguing that the Pac-12 is just as a competitive conference as anyone else, even though sometimes you go their win-loss record in bowl games, which is what most national audiences pay attention to, isn't as great as it should be.
So, look, we're going to get into the NFL. We're going to talk Niners. We're going to talk general NFL. So just hang tight, listeners. But I want to stick on college football for a second here, because when it comes to the Pac-12, this is the time where they're going to have they're going to have 3 of like the top 5 Heisman finalists, and the teams, they've been in the top 25 for a long period of time. And then next year it's going to be the Tupac, as people are joking about. There's just going to be 2 teams in the Pac-12. What do you make of the whole college football landscape in terms of divisions?
Well, let me be clear. I don't like that the Pac-12 is fading. I don't. And the main reason why is because there's over 100 years of history within the Pac-12. All the great athletes that have come through the Pac-12, Heisman Trophy winners, national champions, all those athletes, in my opinion, are going to be forgotten or being overshadowed by the Big Ten name. When you think Big Ten football in all of our lives, including yours, and I'm a little bit older than you, Zach, it's always been, you think about the Ohio States, the Michigans. You don't consider in that same breath where you think about the SCs, the Washingtons, the Oregons. So I'm not happy with the way the Pac-12 is going, and I'm hoping that sooner or later, once the money sort of settles down, because that's what it's all about. It's all about money. Once that settles down and there's a better sort of split of the big pie, if you will, that maybe the Pac-12 might come back.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I think I'm speaking for a lot of people if that would be. I mean, there's tradition. There's a lot of stuff that's built into all this stuff. But let's talk some NFL football, Link, shall we? And specifically the 49ers. I've been rebuked. I've been pushed back on. I have been said that I'm wrong numerous times. So you tell me. I'm not going to even tell you what side I'm on. But when you look at that Niners and Vikings Monday Night Football game, do you blame more of the offense or the defense for that loss?
I blame the turnovers. The fact is the offense had considerable turnovers. And when you lose a turnover battle, it's hard to beat another team. I will say this, Minnesota's record is not indicative of how good of a football team they are. And when the 49ers come into town, obviously, with the winning record that they've had and the amount of success they've had in the early part of the season, there's going to be a huge target on their back. So anywhere they're going, they have to play, as near perfect football. Some of the things the 49ers have done well has been exposed. Not necessarily exposed in a bad way, but you take notice of it, and teams are trying to make adjustments to counteract that. But the turnovers, to me, are the difference in that football game against the Vikings.
And now, how much of a difference is Trent Williams being out of that game. Now, you were a right tackle, not a left tackle, but Trent Williams, obviously one of the more dominating and arguably the best offensive lineman in the league. With him being out of that game, do you think that had a huge effect on the outcome?
Well, I think anytime you lose one of your leaders on the field, it'll have an impact on the outcome. But at watching the film, I didn't see that Brock Purdy was under a ton of pressure, so it wasn't as big of a deal as maybe people would think. But, Trent Williams is a tremendous player. He's not only a player that leads by example with his actions, but with his voice and his vocals. And I know he's well respected in that locker room. So, it wasn't a big deal. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure being put on Brock, especially from that left side. But, it's one of those things where you're down one of your playmakers, one of your, your leaders out there. It can make a difference in the football game.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at that game and I just see it as, and again, I've been wrong about thinking what the average score is per team, but 22 points. If you, as an offensive lineman, as you were great at that, but if your team allows 22 points, don't you expect to win that game as an offensive guy?
Well, I mean, yes. The short answer to your question is yes, but it also dictates what type of offense you are. Let's face it. The Vikings were having trouble scoring, but they were playing low-score games, and a lot of their losses, they weren't necessarily being blown out. And so this was a test for the 49ers. Going forward, look, as I said a moment ago, they're going to be a big target on your back. But, the Raiders would, for example, on the other side of the coin, would love to have 22 points a game. They barely broke 20 when they had the safety against New England. But other than that, they haven't scored over 20 points. So, yes, you want your offense to be effective. And, yes, when you do have a scoring offense, like some of the times that I've experienced while playing, then you just want your defense to hold their weight, hold them on, get like 3 field goals, we'll take care of the rest. But that's when you're scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, okay. Well, coming up next, I want to ask you this. As a player in the locker room, how much – because one of the things that I hate, Lincoln, and we'll get into it, is I can't stand when it's like a revenge game and players play better or it's a statement game or something like that. But when you are more – because the one thing that I worried about for the Niners and the Vikings game for the Niners is that the Vikings were more desperate than the Niners. But does that actually play out in terms of on the field? We will ask Lincoln Kennedy that next. I'm Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill kit. Was $159, now just $99. That's a savings of $60. And there's more. Earn 3 times the bonus points on Carhartt workwear. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. DeWalt offer valid 10/19 through 1/31. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 10/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Homecoming night for Sacramento State football this Saturday versus Idaho State Bengals. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early and enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
All that good stuff. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Join us in the YouTube chat. We are live streaming alongside the one, the only Lincoln Kennedy. By the way, you don't want to get in Lincoln Kennedy's face. Now, he's a nice guy. Do you hear that laugh? He sounds like a nice guy, right? You don't want to mess with Lincoln Kennedy. He will, you throw a snowball at Lincoln Kennedy, you got problems coming your way. Now, I'm not asking you as you're at work probably or listening on your drive. Definitely don't text and drive or search and drive. But if you want to look up Lincoln Kennedy Snowball Denver, Wow. You go ahead and do that. And I'm telling you right now, the guy is a sweetheart. I promise you that. But you do not want problems with Lincoln Kennedy. He will jump into the stands and he will, Link, am I wrong here?
There was one time in band camp a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm often reminded about that incident in Denver a long time ago, Zach. But
yeah,
I'm trying to put those. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be more of a role model to my kids. I don't want to be that.
Okay, well that's good. And yeah, I mean, look, you are overall a good guy, but just don't cross you, and that's fine to say.
That's true. That's true. You cross the man first. So
yeah, for sure. But I do want to ask you in terms of the locker room, and forgive my frustration, but I hate when a guy has a good game against a former team. Or so you tell me, when you're a player prepping for a game, don't you treat every game like you want to do the best that you can? Why are there times where people say revenge game or whatever else?
Because that's human nature. I mean, you think about it. Look, you can circle one guy and say that he might want a revenge game, but this is a team game. You can't say the same thing about all 11 guys out there on the football field. You know what I mean? If it's one guy that has an issue playing against the Vikings or some other team, whatever, because they released him or they did him wrong, or you felt he did him wrong, that's just one guy. It's not the whole team. In the locker room, what you have to be reminded of as a leader on the team, you want to try to find a way to get everyone that same type of zip, that same type of desire to where they want to go out and beat up on people. And it doesn't matter which team it is. It's hard to do. It's especially hard to do in college because we're talking about young men that look at the schedule and you'll say that you'll see a cupcake or two, like, oh yeah, I'll just get through that game, whatever it is. And that's usually the time where you can get upset, you can get beat. So, to answer your question, it's not a wide variety through the locker room. It's just one or two guys that sometimes have influence over the game and can control the game, other times not.
I'll just say this, Link, and this is just me speaking personally. Okay. Now, if you were going to go on with like the Dan Patrick show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're giving me an hour and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to step up your game even more for the Dan Patrick show, as opposed to little old Zakariah here on Sactown Sports, I would be offended by that. To me, you need to play your best all the time, no matter who the person is.
Yeah, as you should, but that's just not human nature. And it's not necessarily being realistic. The thing is, Zach, think about it this way. When you see a future free agent, okay, go out in the time before his contract ends, has the year of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden gets big money and wets himself on the next team. Isn't that
Eric Dampier?
Yeah. Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, but that's not to be applauded, Link.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it should be applauded, but it's just I think a lot of times it's human nature. It's not saying it's the right thing, but it's human nature because you have a choice. And then when you play professional sports, in my opinion, 90% of the time it's mental. Because if you have the physical ability to get there, then you're already there. What you do with it on that level is up to you. That comes from up here. That comes from heart. And that's why the late, great Al Davis said, you can't teach speed and you can't teach heart. You either have it or you don't. It's that simple.
Yeah. He also horrendously drafted Darius Hayward-Bay because of speed. Michael Crabtree. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to get to the Raiders in a second, as I know you do the color commentary for the silver and black, but I want to stick with the Niners just for a second. In terms of the Brock Purdy game, when you go back and you look at that game, this is what I've done, Link, and I don't know where you've shifted in terms of your opinion of him. Mine has basically remained exactly where it's been. I don't think that he's amazing. Patrick Mahomes, nobody's Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he's Josh Allen. I don't think he's a lot of guys, but I think he's definitely ahead of the middle of the pack. And I think there's going to be a lot of detractors. I haven't checked even the media people, whether or not they're going crazy after his back-to-back losses. But has your opinion changed at all about Brock Purdy?
Hasn't changed since the first time I saw him. I knew what he was good at. I knew what he was strong at. And I said to people that asked me about him in the past, once defensive coordinators get a film on him, they'll be able to figure out his strength and his mind and his weaknesses. And the thing is that, I was at a cigar lounge the other night when I was watching the game, the Monday Night Football game. And once the 49ers went down, there was a guy, a pundit on the side, who was yelling, that's why he's Mr. Irrelevant. He's not an elite quarterback. Look, here's what I'll say. You can say what you want about Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy has been good for the 49ers, and the 49ers have been good with Brock Purdy in there. And so the fact that the 49ers have the ability of having one of the lowest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League, but yet having one of the best records, just goes to show and prove it's not always about the draft choice and where you pick them. It's more about the system and the scheme and what this guy can thrive under. And I know it firsthand from my experience. I did not play well under the run and shoot offense in Atlanta. Therefore, I didn't play that much. But when I went to Oakland, I was a starter from the moment I stepped on the field until the moment I retired. And that's because they had a system conducive to my strengths. That's what you have with Brock Purdy. So to answer your question, my sort of viewpoint or observation or opinion of Brock Purdy has not changed.
So in terms of him being okay, so famously, right, when you look at the worst quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, right, you would probably go Trent Dilfer with the Ravens, and you would go Brad Johnson with the Bucs. So do you think he's above that? Like, wins above replacement is like a stat, and I don't even know what sport these days, but like, do you think he's above just enough to get a Super Bowl victory? Do you think he's better than that or no?
Well, I mean, I think he's better than Trent Dilfer. And I think he's better than Rex Grossman or other guys that you said might have competed for a Super Bowl. But I would say this, he's not doing it alone. Look, one of the strengths about the 49ers is their ability not only to run the game, be physical, but also have their passing attack. And they have their receiving leaders for that. That's why you have the Samuels and the Kittles and stuff like that, so on and so forth. So there is a system in play with Kyle Shanahan that is conducive to the players that they have, and they can make a run. But that defense and that offense, ability to score, yes, they can make a run. And now their team is one of the favorites, especially in the NFC.
Well, we're out here in Sacramento, so we have a lot of Raiders fans. We will talk about the silver and black coming up at the bottom of the hour, but just sticking with the Niners, I've been asking this question to pretty much everybody. Offense or defense, who was bigger to blame for Monday night's loss?
I think, the style of defense that the 49ers play is very aggressive, and it's notable because they have the players that are capable of doing it.
No sacks, Link.
Well, I get it, no sacks, but at the same point, you got to take the game plan in consideration. Kirk Cousins did a good job. He played out of his gore. Played the best football that I've seen him play in quite some time. But, there's going to be times where Bosa is shut down. There's going to be times where somebody else has got to rise up. And, you saw the Vikings play considerable amount of attention to making sure number 97 never really had a free rush. But I will also commend the right tackle for the Vikings. I thought he did a pretty good job against Bosa, especially in one-on-one coverage. One-on-one matchup. So I was impressed by that. So much attention is given to a lot of these defensive ends and these edge rushers, and rightfully so. They're coming up with a bunch of sacks. But I told you, Zach, a long time ago, if one or two plays taken out of the game or the game, when offenses usually on average run 65 to 70 plays, if one or two plays is given up for a sack, then that player gets player of the game for those two plays, right? But what about the other 68 plays? Where was he? Was he a no-show? Did he not want to play? Did he not want to come out on the field and play? It is what it is. But defenders are going to get a lot more notoriety than offensive guys, depending on what they do. But I don't really have a pointing finger at blame for anybody. I think the stat that stands out to me most, third down conversions for the 49ers, as well as the turnovers.
Now, finally, just to wrap up the red and gold conversation, when it comes to the organizational part of it, now you were a part of a couple of teams that, in my opinion, should have won the Super Bowl. You can talk about refs. You can talk about, the coach on the other side knowing all your plays or whatever. Well, I don't want to rip off that Band-Aid for you, Link. But in general, when it comes to what you're looking at with Lynch and Shanahan, these guys should have the proper job security that they do, right? I mean, despite the fact that they haven't actually won it all, they've done enough winning. I mean, winning is hard enough to do in the NFL. You know that better than anybody.
They've had more success in their time together than 80% of the teams in the National Football League. So, yes, they should be rewarded for what they've done and what they're doing. Now, look, every team, every general manager has missed here or there on the draft. Every team, every general manager has missed on free agents, stuff like that. But it's not – you're still finding a way to win. You're still finding a way to be competitive. The thing about the draft, Zach, and I've said this, the NFL draft more than any other draft, it's the only opportunity where every single fan base thinks that they're going to the Super Bowl based on who they draft. Every single fan base thinks, oh, we've got it all made. We got the first pick. We take the first quarterback. We're going to the Super Bowl. Well, it's a little bit more involving than that. But the fact that the 49ers were able to get where they are right now, have a winning record, tops of the division, really one of the top teams in the NFC altogether, and they're doing it with a quarterback who's second lowest paid in the National Football League. Woo, mind-blowing. That doesn't happen. It really doesn't. And it doesn't happen on any other team, really, except for the 49ers that we've seen. So, I know the Trey Lance was a failure, but they seem to have a good one in Brock Purdy. After this season, I expect Purdy to be signed to some big money to keep him happy and not let him venture off. But right now, they've got a system in place and the players in place to exceed and to excel.
Coming up next, more with Lincoln Kennedy. We will get into some silver and black talk as he does the radio color commentator for them, Compass Media Net, all that good stuff. Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The 82-game NBA journey begins Wednesday for the Sacramento Kings.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
The G-Man Gary Gerald has all the play-by-play Wednesday of season number 39 in Sacramento.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker.
It's the Kings and Jazz in the season opener from Utah.
He's got the three-point shot.
Wednesday at 6 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
Hey, Sacramento, it's almost time for your reigning Pacific Division champion Sacramento Kings to take the court for the new NBA season.
A two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
Be sure to get your tickets to see the Kings in action as we look to light the beam this season. Don't miss the rivalry matchups coming to Golden One Center for opening weekend as the Kings face the Warriors on Friday, October 27th, and the Lakers on Sunday, October 29th. Find your tickets now at kings.com/tickets. And together, let's bring the roar.
It's the sponsor of the drive of the game, Jiffy Lube, our old friends, our dear friends, Jiffy Lube. With winter coming up, listen, all kinds of things. Obviously, oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations. You get your air filters replaced. Make sure you winterize your vehicle. For more information, of course, you can go to jiffylube.com and make sure you tune in after each and every Kings game for the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. For more info, once again, go to jiffylube.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Your Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday night against the Idaho State Bengals. It is homecoming at Sac State, so arrive early and enjoy the homecoming festivities. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m., and let's pack Hornet Stadium as the top-ranked Hornets compete for a Big Sky championship. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. Get your tickets now to secure your spot at Hornet Stadium for this Big Sky showdown. You can get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. What is happening, Chad, for Ram Power Days?
The biggest sale of the year with up to $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew cabs. Or save up to $6,000 off MSRP and get thousands more with 0% financing for 72 months.
So pretty much all your Rams are on sale and 0% financing?
That's what makes us different. Hoblet is always looking out for you, which is why we have up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 Crew cabs too. And with over 500 Rams available, we're sure to have your perfect truck at California's #1 Ram truck dealer.
Wow, these deals can't last long. See their whole inventory at HoblettDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
12,000 total net savings after 6,000 factory rebates and 6,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,000 loyalty bonus cash for current owners of Stellantis brand vehicle and $1,000 case construction cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from qualifying dealer. Or take 0% financing for 72 months plus 6,000 dealer discounts. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $1,389 per 1,000 borrowed. 8,000 total net savings after 3,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $1,000 case construction and 500 first responder bonus cash for current members of eligible first responder association. 10 of each offer. See dealer for details.
Players know it's not just because you win more. It's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guests and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings are back there in Utah to play the Jazz. No pun intended. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Huerter will get the start. All this excitement begins with game night, 4:30 p.m. You got Scott Marsh, Henry Turner. Tip-off with the G-Man, 6 p.m. Don't forget, all guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Speaking of guests, we got Lincoln Kennedy for the next half hour with Zakariah on the Midday Show.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. I am Zakariah, alongside the one, the only, Lincoln Kennedy. Don't cross him with a snowball, because you'll feel the repercussions. You can follow him on Twitter at LKennedy72.
It's not just a snowball, Zach.
Twitter. It still feels weird calling it X. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's one of those things where when I'm faced with that conversation about that night in Denver, I was like, look, I'm a man first. You cross the man before you cross the football player. And
let me ask you this, Link. When there was the malice at the palace, did you have some sort of nostalgia going on?
No. I mean, look. I understood. I mean, I was surprised that I was one of the first or only ones that somebody recorded said that.
I think you're the only one that's ever done it in football.
Well, it might be in football. I mean, but I will say this: I understood what Ron Artest was doing. I was just saying you got to make sure you get the right guy. Because that's the big thing for me. I knew I saw the guy who did it.
Oh, so you knew specifically who threw it at you.
Exactly.
Got it.
I went after him. So
yeah,
but you got to.
If you get a drink thrown at you, your natural reaction is to retaliate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm saying that as a lover, not a fighter. I mean, even my natural reaction would be that. But let's talk silver and black now, Lincoln. I don't want to put you in a bad spot. Okay, you know how much I have. Well, I have an affinity for you, so I don't want you professionally. I don't want to put you in a bad spot. I'm just going to throw this out there, and then you can respond however you want. When you have an organization where it's been reported that the head coach they want him to be removed, but financially the owner cannot pay 2 coaches to coach the team. That's got to put the players in a very bad spot. Again, don't want to put you in a bad spot, so you respond to that however you like.
I will say this. Players just want to win, so they could give a damn who's coaching as long as they win. But when
that's how you felt? You didn't care who your head coach was?
I didn't care who my head coach was as long as we won. As long as we had a system, I didn't care who my head coach was.
Really?
You can have an 8-year-old little girl. If she was calling the right plays and we were winning, I have no problem with it. Making the decisions, I have no problem with it at all. That doesn't matter.
You never had an opinion on who the guy running your organization was.
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that what becomes toxic is if you allow that cancer to spread throughout the locker room. If you feel that the coach has lost the locker room, you have to move on. But we also have to be practical and realistic. How much can you expect someone to get done in less than 2 years? I'm not saying this as a company man. I'm saying this as a person. How much can you expect to get done in less than 2 years? When Josh McDaniels took over and Dave Ziegler came and took over this team, they had 36 guys under contract. So it's much like you see in coaching in college football with the NIL. A lot of times you have to build your roster through the transfer portal. The same thing happens where you have to build your roster through the draft. You have to build your roster through free agency. If you don't give these things time to take hold, then all you're doing is going over the same thing again, because every coach I've ever played for coming into a system has brought in his own guys, has brought in his own philosophy, has drafted the way that he saw fit or he wanted his administration to see fit. That's got to take hold. You got to give it time. So I know a lot of the Raider Nation are clamoring for Josh McDaniels' head. And I'm not saying this to protect my job. I'm being honest. You got to be smart, because first and foremost, this is a business. And yes, I know it's a hard time. Trust me. Believe me. I have a hard time calling some of these games at times. But it's a business first. There's money that's involved. There's a big time money that's involved. And unless you have the terms that are favorable for you to get out of it and find someone else, yes, this will be something that we talk about all season.
All right, let me ask you this, Link, because I got like 5 Raiders questions. So let me start with this. Has he had enough time? Has McDaniels had enough time to show you whether or not he's the proper coach for the Raiders?
No, not to me.
Okay. All right. My next question, because you've been on the sidelines. I was the biggest Carr apologist of all time. I was always defending Carr, and I said that he had a historically bad defense. He had a terrible offensive line. They finally brought him in weapons. What happened with Carr and his departure? Because he seemed to be completely blindsided by it.
Well, it was the fact that him and McDaniels kind of knocked heads. I mean, the fact, you go back to the last game that Derek started in was against the Steelers. And on that cold night, Derek threw 3 horrible interceptions. I mean, the fact that most notably the one he threw to Hunter Renfrow, he was triple covered. Why would you go to him?
Yeah.
The problem became this.
He has a lot of brain fart moments like that, but so does the guy that they brought in, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, I mean, you can't keep Jimmy happy. I mean, healthy. That's the big thing about him. I mean, that going in, I knew that was going to be an issue. And that's still an issue to this day. But, for Derek's standards, it was his decision making. It was up here that rubbed the head coach the wrong way. And look, let's face it, guys. Josh McDaniels got this job because he had a plan for a quarterback like Derek Carr. That's not mobile, that chooses not to be mobile, that won't use his legs to extend plays. He had a plan for him. Now, the offensive line hasn't panned out. That has been a big question. And since I've been doing these games, since I've been a color commentator for the Raiders, they have not figured out the answer to the right tackle and right guard problem that they've had. They've tried in the draft. They tried in free agency. Nothing has stuck. That's a big hole. And you want to talk about success? That's a big hole. Not having someone opposite Max Crosby that can make plays, that's a big hole. People will sit there and talk about the 7th pick of Tyree Wilson. Look, Tyree, I think, will be good in the future, but he's got to play against NFL talent. And no slight at his university, playing at Texas Tech every year is not NFL talent. Playing against Texas Tech and the people they play is not NFL talent. You might have it once or twice every now and then, but not NFL talent. So Tyree has to learn how to play on an NFL level against what are arguably the best offensive tackles in the league, the left tackles. So that's going to come in time. But Max has got to have more help. You got to have help in being able to stop the running game. So you saw the Bears run all over the Raiders, averaging almost 6 yards a carry, and they couldn't stop them. So you need help that way. That's not Josh McDaniels. That's a combination of what he's doing as far as the staff there, yes, but that's not all on Josh McDaniels. And to fire him and to bring in someone else means you're starting all over again. Offensively, defensively, special teams. Where's that going to get you?
Yeah, I got you. I guess, look, we'll save this for the next segment because I want to ask you where you would rank in terms of importance of the success for a ball club. Obviously, your O-line was dialed in with the silver and black when you were on the precipice of getting a Super Bowl. And so, I mean, where is it? I mean, because everybody talks quarterback, everybody talks defensive line, right? In terms of money earned, that's kind of the line that you go down. But where is the O-line in terms of that? We will ask him that. Plus, we will get into the whole line of supremacy in terms of the NFL. Where do the Niners rank in that? We will do all of that coming up next. Lincoln Kennedy, Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Igor, my faithful companion, it is time to prepare for the night. The shadows grow long, and the creatures of the night stir with excitement.
Yes, Master Dracula. What do you require of me?
I need you to fire up the hearse. Elk Grove Kia is having a Halloween sale that is to die for. We're going to upgrade you a new car worthy of the Prince of Darkness. I'm so excited. It is making my blood shiver.
But Master, with your credit history, aren't you worried you're going to get turned down?
Igor, shut up. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of experience. They can even get me approved, even with my troubled past. And Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on all new Kias, it's almost like having an immortal car.
Elk Grove Kia's Halloween sale is so good, it's scaring the competition. In fact, it's so scary, we can't even advertise the pricing. So whether you're in need of a new or used car, make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or visit us at elkgrovekia.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Homecoming night for Sacramento State football this Saturday versus Idaho State Bengals. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early and enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. In a battle of backup quarterbacks, Chicago performed much better. All the momentum of the 2 straight home wins was wasted with a brutal performance at Soldier Field. Vegas coach Josh McDaniels, quote, "We didn't do anything well enough to deserve to win." He's right, and now they're 3-4. That's your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to the newest technology with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Do that. Subscribe, like, follow, comment, all that good stuff on X, as the kids say. I still call it Twitter. At L Kennedy 72. He's the one and only Lincoln Kennedy, kind enough to join us for the entire hour. It's been a great hour, Link. And I want to ask you, as I teased before we went to break in the last segment, where do you rank in terms of importance from your time playing? I'm guessing you're biased because you were, an offensive lineman. So you'd probably say O-line 1, but maybe not. Is quarterback what everybody says, how important it is? Defense, coach? I mean, where do you go in terms of if you have a great team, why they are great?
Well, all you have to do is look at history. And historically speaking, teams that have won championships have had what? They've been led by what? A good offensive line. Yes, quarterback is important. And probably as far as decision-making, the most important player out there. But as far as group, there's nothing bigger than the offensive line. Because if you don't have an offensive line, you're not going to do anything. You can't run the ball well. You can't pass the ball. If you don't have an offensive line, you're not going to have so much success. So offensive line value has got to be up there at the top.
Now, let me ask you this. How often is a quarterback judged to be better because of a great offensive line? And how much is a quarterback judged to be worse with a terrible offensive line? Like, how much do you put? Because, for instance, I would say Patrick Mahomes. Now, I don't know what the PFF ratings are on the Chiefs' offensive line. I'm not going to pretend to be a guy that dissects all of that stuff. But I would say that he is a guy that is so damn good individually that the stuff around him doesn't matter as much. So how often is a quarterback hailed with a great offensive line versus a quarterback being demeaned with a bad offensive line?
I will say this. More times than not, the guys will get the credit. Look, go back to the Dallas Cowboys and their run in the 90s. You know that you've got Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, and Emmitt Smith all in the Hall of Fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of those offensive linemen do you have in the Hall of Fame other than Larry Allen?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? There's only one. There's Larry Allen. And that's the thing. So I've said all along, I thought in the national or the bigger picture, offensive line is often undervalued, in my opinion. They don't think about the offensive line. You don't have as much recognition as the offensive line. And it's not necessarily, fair to say. To answer your question, it's kind of difficult to say, but more times than not, you'll have the star power will get all the accolades than rather the offensive line that protected him and blocked for him. And you can ask yourself this question, Zach, when you have time. Who does the quarterback make the receiver, or does the receiver make the quarterback? Say the same thing about the offensive line. Does the offensive line make the quarterback? Or does the quarterback make the offensive line? Because for the first couple of games, the Raiders' offensive line was being heralded by not giving up a sack in the first couple of games. And I was like, well, that's not much to stir a stick at when you have trouble winning those games. If you're not winning, it doesn't really matter if you didn't give up a sack or not per se. But sacks and those types of sort of minuses for offense are team-driven. It's not just the offensive line. It's the quarterback decision-making and time to get rid of the football. It's the coaching, making sure you're setting yourself up for success and not failure. It's the receivers running and getting open. More importantly, understanding their quarterback, and then the quarterback understanding his receivers, knowing that no two receivers are going to run it deep out the same way. So if I'm going to use that timing factor, which Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin were tremendous at. Troy Aikman was ranked one of the highest accurate quarterbacks in National Football League history, mainly because he could throw that 10-yard down and out to his receivers like it was nothing. Like he was playing out catch with his son or something like that. So, you have to ask yourself that question when you talk about the offensive line and the value and the quarterbacks that have come with good offensive lines or bad offensive lines. As far as having a bad offensive line, you're probably not hearing much about those quarterbacks or how they might have been on a season-ending injury list or something like that.
Yeah. See, now that you're asking me, and I'm just spitballing here, but I would go O-line 1. I would go wide receiver 2. I would almost put the quarterback even further back in terms of how good they need to be if the stuff around them is great. But let's get to the NFL hierarchy, shall we? I would be doing the listeners a disservice if I didn't ask you about that. Now, looking at the league, a lot of things are bunched together. You got the Chiefs at 6-1 and the Eagles at 6-1 coming off a big W over the Dolphins. You have the Dolphins at 5-2, Ravens at 5-2, Jaguars at 5-2, Niners at 5-2, Lions at 5-2. When you just look at the NFL hierarchy, what you expect I'm not going to ask you for a Super Bowl prediction, but in terms of conference championship games, what Final Four do you see?
Well, before your listeners start to run to Vegas or try to pick up their phone to get on the sports book, I will say this, that it's never really come down to that serious. Well, let me put it this way. It's hardly ever come down to just chalk like what you're saying. Like the top two teams, it would be easy to go out on a limb and say, well, Philadelphia and Kansas City are going to see each other again in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's easy to say. I don't necessarily see it that way. I think every year, obviously because that's why they play the games, but potentially you have a chance to see some new blood. Every year you could talk about, the fixtures of the teams that you expect to see. I mean, I would say this, one of the things that I put out there a while ago is I expect to see the 49ers in Detroit in an NFC championship. That's something I threw out there.
Why are you down on Philly, Link?
Well, I'm not down on Philly. I think Philly has holes, but I think that it's time for a team to kind of come up from out the depths and sort of make themselves known. Not to say the 49ers haven't been there. Obviously they have. But as far as the Eagles are concerned, they've got a good run game. They've got a good passing game. Everything is based on their quarterback and Justin Fields and his ability to stay in there. And I just think the way that they use him, he's probably not going to finish the season healthy, let alone if he's going to be able to finish the season standing up. There's going to be some games that he's going to have to take off because he takes such a beating.
All right, we got some breaking news here, Link. So we're going to go to our producer, the fine Nate, and we have breaking news on Brock Purdy, and I kind of want to pick your brain on concussion protocol.
So Kyle Shanahan just confirmed in the media. They didn't actually meet with the media yesterday. Kyle Shanahan pushed it away, but Brock Purdy is in the concussion protocol, and that is per Matt Mayoko.
How much did that change over your career, Link, in terms of the way that I feel like concussions were kind of brushed aside when you were in your prime, and now they're like at the forefront. What do you make of that news?
I'm not surprised. I think there are more guys that are going to be under concussion protocol because there's more of a focal point on it, especially what happened with Tua Tagovailoa last year and the instances that they had, because Miami collectively as an organization was arguing he wasn't concussed. He passed all the tests. He should be allowed to play. So it's going to be under more scrutiny. But to answer your question, it wasn't a thing back in my day. Matter of fact, we used to have a running joke that if you ever got knocked down or thought you had a concussion, when the doctor came over and said, how many fingers they're holding up, just say a number that was higher than 1 and lower than 5. Because it's not going to be 1, and it's not going to be more than 5. So you just
that was an actual thing.
That was an actual thing. And
wow.
You throw out 3, and then you get up and like, oh, he's okay. Get up, dust yourself off, go over to the sideline. Coach looks at you, say, how you feeling? I'm ready to go back in. You went back in. That was the thing. But the lawsuit, the concussion lawsuit that players union had against the NFL, all the other things that have followed after that changed that opinion, that view. And more importantly for the NFL, Zach, it's important that the NFL show that they do care to this extent. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what team you play for, but we do care, and we're showing that we're care by trying to protect you, to help you protect yourself. Because, for a moment there, Zach, we had a lot of moms that didn't want to let their sons play football. Why? Because they felt concussions. They felt the injuries and stuff like that. Now that's kind of turned around. Football's got its popularity back. You got to pay the clear attention to the little small details when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why it changed so suddenly, because I've dealt with that with my brother and my nephew. He wants to play tackle football. My brother's not going to let him do it. Like his only option is flag football, and
that's why it changed. That's why I did. You remember when Steve Young was playing and he got knocked out on the football field? You remember how it was on national
and he was
TV?
wobbly.
Exactly. Everyone saw that, which kind of started.
You think that was the turning point?
No, I don't think that was particularly the turning point itself, but it played into it. It became a factor. Because obviously with the stuff that happened with Tua, when he got knocked down last year, I mean, he got up shaking. You were scared for him. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are.
Oh, he was having like a seizure on the
Exactly. And so that's what a lot of parents saw, a lot of moms, a lot of dads when it came to football. And I understand they're sort of feeling of being a concern. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I understand that. But the thing is that's why you see the NFL kind of morphing to what it is. Look, the NFL's sort of minor league or amateur league are the guys that are kids that are coming up playing the game right now.
Well, it happens in soccer too. Like, I mean,
very true. Very true.
I slammed my head when I was playing junior college basketball. I slammed my head directly on the court. I mean, stuff can happen anywhere. I'm also from the era, Link, where they had a jacked up segment. on Monday Night Football Countdown. You know what I mean? They would show jacked up where it was basically just giving everybody concussions. Anyways, you are the man. I appreciate you. Lincoln Kennedy on Twitter at LKennedy72. Have a great week and have a great call.
My pleasure, Zach. You be up, man. Take care.
There you go. Lincoln Kennedy. That guy is the guy. Coming up next, I've been getting yelled at all show long because we've been doing football. I thought football was king, Nate. Apparently it's not.
Kings are king.
I think the Kings start tonight. I think we have like a show hyping up that game, I think.
Game night, 4:30. Scott Marsh.
Ball night. Kings, Jazz in Utah. We will cover all of that and much, much more. Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Are you a sports memorabilia collector? Then this is the show for you. Emil Fergoso here to introduce a true sports card show, where every card tells a story and every piece of memorabilia has a history. Join industry expert Imran Polati and myself every week as we dive deep into the world of sports cards, bring you the latest trends, exclusive interviews, and the hottest tips for collectors. Tune in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 and experience the thrill of the chase. The True Sports Card Show, brought to you by True Sports Cards and Collectibles on Sactown Sports.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches on my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Some breaking news from the 49ers camp. Brock Purdy is in concussion protocol per Matt Mayoko. This is especially bad since the Niners are on a short week, but Brock was allowed to participate in a walkthrough today despite being in concussion protocol. Good news, though, the Sacramento Kings are back. They play Utah, and they're taking on the Jazz. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Huerter will get the start. All this excitement begins at 4:30 with game night. You have Scott Marsh and Henry Turner. Tip-off 6 p.m. with the G-Man. Don't forget, all guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are the headlines. Now we do the last hour of the midday show with Zakariah.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Call, text, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're everywhere. Is it behind me right now? It is. At Sactown 1140 on Twitter. Up a little bit for, what is that, Facebook? And then
We got it all. The big ones are Instagram, YouTube,
TikTok.
Twitter.
Don't care about TikTok or no?
It's not our forte right now, but I did just post a video on our Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah, from me and Jerry Reynolds yesterday.
Oh.
Had a little crosstalk after.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about this in the commercial break because I don't want to bust you out.
Okay.
But I needed to be more prepared for that. That was a legend in the building. So I should have been told.
So this is my fault.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, you're, saving the damsel in distress.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I didn't know Jerry was coming in.
But educate your boy. Help your boy out.
Do we need to go behind the curtain even more?
No, we're going to do it in the commercial break. We're going to fight in the commercial break. Simone doesn't need the drama over there.
She can't even hear us right now.
Oh, she can't?
No.
She in the zone?
She's working.
She doing her updates?
Do you want to get her in on this?
No. I'm just saying it would have been nice to have known that a legend was coming in.
Okay.
And I should have been prepared.
I just want to say, too, it's never your fault. It's never your fault, right?
No, I often admit when I'm wrong. I'm really good at admitting when I'm wrong.
You're really good at saying you're really good at stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, here she comes.
I admit when I'm wrong, though. I was not. Yesterday, you were in the wrong.
Oh, my goodness.
We have another hour. Nate's going to actually.
Zakariah's last day, everybody.
Okay. As I booked Damon Bruce for the first hour.
Which was great.
I booked Lorenzo Alexander for the second hour. And I booked Lincoln Kennedy for the third hour. This is where you earn your paycheck. So.
Oh, yeah. My minimum wage paycheck. Here we are earning it.
Easy.
Fellas.
Too many details. Too many details.
I don't care.
All right. The Kings are playing tonight.
Let's go.
Everybody's yelling at me. Because I think what Sacramento wants is nothing but round ball talk, and that is my forte. I'm a big basketball guy. I would love to talk Kings, Jazz, as we are going to do. But, when you have Pro Bowlers that join your show and football's supposed to be king, I would like to know what the actual ratings are here in Sacramento. Didn't I see that Sacramento was the second highest market that watched Sunday Night Football?
The Niners
Cowboys? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Watkins brought us that stat.
Out here. So why am I getting yelled at?
I think the audience for this station specifically, Kings. It's Kings, baby.
Okay.
It's
All
Kings.
right.
We're the home of KHTK, home of the Kings.
All right. Home of the Kings. And I love the Kings. And I love Reynolds. And I love all the people that have come before him and after him. And I love those Sacramento teams. That's the whole thing about me being from the Bay. Everybody's like, oh, you're from the Bay. You're not from Sacramento. We're Northern California. We hated the Lakers together. We are together here. That's how I feel.
Not anymore.
I wear purple all the time. I got purple pants, but I'm not wearing a purple shirt.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point is I bleed purple and black. And the Kings start their season. I'm a little worried about this game, Nate. Where are you?
I'm not too worried. I'm happy.
Worried?
Even if I mean, the Jazz are going to be scrappy this year. That's kind of a.
So their first two games were separated by a total of like 3 points. The Kings won both of them. Then they had another couple of games that were semi-close, not as close. But any away game in Utah, I'm scared of.
Sure, that's a tough place to play. I mean, ask any of the old legends for sure. But it was. I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried. I think the worry for me comes with the new guys in the squad. I think we know what we're getting from who's been there with our starters. The bench is going to be very interesting. The defense is going to be very interesting. How much does Davion play? How much does Sasha play? Where does Duarte fit in? Do we see Colby Jones? Where's JaVale McGee? All this stuff.
Did a
Right?
whole hour of radio right there. You
Yeah.
just asked like 10 questions. You're worried about all of you. You think they have that many questions? I wouldn't go that far. I think that they're pretty much set. Now, you have reported in your updates that Duarte will play.
Yes.
But he's not going to start.
Yes.
That's interesting to me
Yeah.
because Mike Brown has said, I'm going to mess with the second five. I'm going to mess with the third five, but I'm not going to be messing with the first five.
100%.
So
I think if he does mess with the first five, even though he said he wasn't, I think it needs to be done early in the season and lock into the lineup. This was something me and my friends would talk about the Kings all last year. Like lineups were such an issue, especially under the Luke Walton era here. It was so sporadic and confusing, and there was
last year.
No, under the Walton era. Sorry. Before Brown. This was a question me and my friends would ask last year going into the season. Like he needs to get a lineup and stick to it. And he did. He started Herter over Monk last year, and that was their lineup despite injury. I can't think of another time they swapped someone in that for a reason that wasn't injury related.
But I would say, and I don't know if this is just me having purple glasses on, but in terms of the NBA teams, I don't think there's another team that could have more alternate lineups than the Kings, because I could see Monk starting. I could see McGee starting. I could see Sasha starting. I could see Len starting.
Maybe with a different coach on a different team. Like
you think, but Brown has made it very clear. If you have learned nothing else as a Kings fan between year one and year two for Mike Brown, he's going to be emphasizing defense. And if you're not playing defense, bye-bye. And I'm sorry, Herter was upset, butthurt, whatever you want to call it. It's my last day. I can do whatever I want. He was butthurt for getting benched in that preseason game.
That's
which
fair.
Shouldn't mean a ton.
Yeah.
But that's because of defense. And the thing that Mike Brown said about Sasha, he didn't get in until the second half. You know why? He said he doesn't sit down, which I had never even heard. I'm a basketball hooper through and through. Never heard the term sitting down on defense, but he said that it was because Sasha was not sitting down. And he doesn't know the tendencies of the players. He will learn that as he goes along. But they have a ton of guys that can get in there versus out of there. That's all I'm saying.
I completely understand what you're saying, but if he does make a move like that, that's a quote unquote permanent move for the season. It's not tinkering. It's okay if he's going to rock with Monk over Herter.
Why can't it be fluid though, Nate? Why can't he go through a ton of different starting lineups throughout the duration of the regular season and then figure out what his playoff rotation is going to be?
I think inconsistencies hurt you in sports. I think a good example, I'm going to reference the NFL here, different sport, but it's
totally different.
I know, but when they take a quarterback out for a drive, like for Taysom Hill,
but
and
that's
then
like taking like Sabonis out. That's like taking a main guy out. You can't compare the same thing. But go ahead.
I just think it's another inconsistency. You're right. It may be a little over the top to say something like that.
It'd be like taking Fox out.
Yeah.
Like if you took Fox or Sabonis out of the lineup, I get it. But when you're messing with the other guys that are not like the main focal points of the starting lineup, to me, it's not a huge deal. And I think it's something Mike Brown's going to do throughout the year.
I think it affects those guys, though. They're playing with different guys opening the game.
For sure.
But we are talking about starters. I think I said this, I believe, on Monday, that starters are one thing, finishers are a completely different thing. It depends. There was a lot of times last year where Keegan Murray didn't finish the game, but he started for the Kings, right? Yeah. So that's going to be more important
they
for
talked
the
about
end of the
that
game.
with Chris Paul and the Warriors too.
I think you're looking
finish
too much at the starters. I think you need to look at the
starters.
Yeah. But I think the eyes need to be on who's finishing the game and why. I think there's going to be there's going to be way more variation in who's finishing the game at every game. I think that's where your lineups come in. That's where they make changes. They realize what's happening in the game, where the chemistry is, who's doing what, where, why, and that's who finishes the game. The starters, I think, will be the same all year. And if there is a change with the starters, it'll be one or two, and that's who Mike Brown's going to rock with. It has to be a lot to make a change there, and I think that's completely fair and warranted.
Okay. So you tell me this. You riddle me this. Will they be a team that is in the upper half? I would say the top 10, but since there's 30 teams in the NBA, I will say top 15. The upper half of the teams that have multiple starting lineups. I think you're going to see a lot of shifting in terms of who starts, whether or not they want to go big with McGee and Len and Sabonis in that lineup or whatever. I mean, not all three of them, but you know what I'm saying. I think that their starting lineup is going to change more than most franchises.
See, I don't think so. I disagree on that. I want to ask you.
You think they're going to roll Fox? You think they're going to roll Sabonis? You think they're going to roll Harrison Barnes, Herter, and Murray?
I have no reason not to think that right now. I'm not saying it won't change, but I'm saying if it does change, it'll stay that way. The change that Mike Brown makes.
That's where we disagree. I think it'll be fluid throughout the whole year.
I want to ask you this, and I mean, this is you need some stats to back this up. But what good teams last year had fluid starting lineups that were changing?
The Lakers were a complete dumpster fire, and then they made the Western Conference Finals. So if you want to, I'll say the Lakers just off top.
Yeah,
that's not even thinking
LeBron. But
I mean, with Westbrook, they were awful. They weren't even in the play-in game.
Yeah,
and then they made it to the Western Conference Finals. So I mean, that would be my number one example.
Okay.
The Heat, I don't know how much their lineup fluctuated, but they certainly weren't a team that you thought was going to topple the Bucks as an 8 seed, beating a 1 seed. So I would go Heat, but I don't know how much I know Hero got hurt, so it had to have at least changed there. And I know Lowry was in and out of the lineup.
Yeah. We got to take out injury though, because obviously that's an issue. But like Denver won the title, I'm pretty sure they had the same starting 5 all year.
For sure.
I think consistency is incredibly important in all of sports. That's all I'm trying to say. And I think Mike Brown's going to rock with his starters and look for more change at the end of the game.
I could see it, Nate. I could see it going down like this. First of all, he's made it very clear to everybody. Defense is going to be a major priority. So I think he's going to emphasize that a ton. Now, what I could see him doing is altering and toying a little bit with the starting lineup. And then, yes, I think you'll be right. Like midway through the season, he'll go, this is my starting lineup, and he'll rock with that. But I could see in the beginning, the first 82 games, 41 games, halfway, first 41 games, I could see a ton of different starting lineups. And then I could see a main starting lineup the last half of the 41 games.
Okay, well, we got to go to break here. But when we come back, I do want to hear which lineups you expect to see and what lineups you expect to see tonight from the Kings against the Jazz.
Fair enough. I mean, I've given you a little bit of a preview of that. I mean, if they go big, there's a way that they can go. If they go small and they want to emphasize defense more than offense, there's a certain way that they can go. Plus, breaking news from the Niners. I don't know do we have any update other than what we already broke, but we'll get into that and much, much more. Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one. Introducing 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Homecoming night for Sacramento State football this Saturday versus Idaho State Bengals. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early and enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
We are live. We are local. Welcome back, Sacramento. I am Zakariah. Sactown Sports, 1140. Usually 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But on Tuesdays, you better be listening from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., which I did last night. It's great stuff.
Thank you.
Right last night.
I was getting emotional last night over that blitz.
Yeah.
I was heated. Emil was riling me up too. He gave a shout out to the safety who picked off Brock corner.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know why he did that.
Yes, I think on the morning show, Hot or Not, they said he was hot. You can't give love to the opponent.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up what else Emil said on the morning show today.
Oh, what else?
He gave some love to Seattle.
What?
Oh, dude, it was a bad look for him.
What is he doing?
I don't know. The chat went nuts. I hate even bringing it. I'm bringing him down. I don't know.
Now I got to go back and listen. Dude. What hour was it?
He did the 9 o'clock hour.
He gave Seattle love?
Yeah, he said he was a Sonics fan.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like
dude, I don't know.
The Sonics basketball team?
yes.
Okay.
And then it was hard to listen to.
Emil, know your audience, man. You know what I mean? Like,
ouch.
I thought we were all NorCal people, me being from Berkeley, but I've brought up Berkeley
went a little too north
because
a little too far north.
What is that? I mean, I love the Sonics too. I mean, Sean Kemp, you know what I mean? Gary Payton, but like in terms of the Seahawks and the Niners, you got to know Niners fans have to hate. I've been saying this for a long time. You've got to hate the Seahawks more than you hate the Rams.
Oh yeah. It's not even close for me. But it was more Kings, Seattle, which also hits really close to home for history? Us. Well, the Kings almost moved to Seattle, and there was all this. Davis. That's
like really in the weeds.
That hit hard. Yeah.
Do they have playoff history?
Yes, they do.
They do.
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
Jason brought it up this morning too. Jason, yeah. If you want to listen to it, but I hate throwing Emil under the bus. I definitely threw Emil under the bus. But anyways, Brock Purdy update.
Yes, Brock Purdy update now. Concussion protocol. I
got stuff here.
I have sources. Oh, you have sources?
Well, I'm just on
your sources.
I'm just on Yahoo
sources
Sports.
Are probably better than my sources.
Here's what I got on Yahoo Sports.
I got completely out.
So I got Brock Purdy has not been ruled out for Sunday's game yet. However, it's unlikely he'll be able to clear protocols in time. No player that has entered concussion protocol this season has been able to play that same week. So that's a bombshell.
Based on the day?
I think the following week, like if you go into it, you're not playing the next week. I think that's kind of what they're saying. No player that has entered concussion protocol this season has been able to play that same week.
What if you enter it on Sunday?
Then, I mean, I guess you played the next week. I think that's kind of what they're saying. I don't know.
Basically, no matter when you enter it, if it's after the game, no player has played since then.
Yes.
So he's out. That's what I got.
I mean, that we can't say that 100%, but it's looking like Sam Darnold time, which is something I didn't want to see.
Don't. We're not going to do this, are we?
No,
I'm going to be gone.
Kings.
I'm going to be gone after today, but we're not doing that next week, are we?
Doing what?
We're not doing Sam Darnold and whether or not he should be the starter.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not doing that at all.
You looked like you were going down that road.
No.
Okay.
God, no.
All right. So we're out of there on that.
We're out of there.
Okay. Purdy's the guy.
Purdy, I mean, honestly, this might I'm making excuses, but those last two picks could be due to he might have been a little woozy. Depending on when he got hit or what happened.
Yeah. Do you have any info on that?
I don't. It's so fresh right now. I'm trying to find stuff, and I'm not seeing a lot. Simone's doing her update back here. I don't know if she's heard too much either.
I watched every snap of that play. I don't remember a specific play where I thought, oh, he's going to be woozy from that.
Yeah. A lot of times too, it's just we're looking downfield.
It can be small, yeah.
You know, you get hit knee in the temple or something. Like when Jamal Adams came back for his first week this year, took a quick knee to the head, was out. like within a few plays.
Yeah, and
So-
Lincoln Kennedy said full blown there was a joke running throughout the locker room before concussions came to the forefront of the conversation, where when they ask you how many fingers am I holding up, you just say something in between 2 and 4 because it'll never be 5 and it'll never be 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows how, and it can happen at any point. It could be something very slight that hurts you way worse than something that looks, because I've seen a bunch of hits where I'm like, that guy's never going to play again. And then he pops up, no problem.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, DB, whatever it is. So who knows exactly when it happened. But so you're saying that every person that has gone through this protocol has not played the following Sunday.
Yahoo Sports is saying that.
Okay. So he's pretty much, I mean, that's what I got
Yeah,
from my
we can
source.
yeah.
I don't want to out my source, but that's what I got. He's
Okay.
out. So that makes, I mean, Bengals?
Oh, I don't know. Do we need to get in? I mean, we got to talk Kings tonight.
Okay.
We got to talk Kings. We got 2.5 segments here.
Everybody's mad at me.
We
Well,
gotta
we can talk Kings at 1:30. Then we got the handoff at 1:45. We're good. We can talk Downers right here. I ask you this. That's a loss.
Oh God.
Well, look, you yelled at me for
Well,
saying
I know,
that they
I'm
were going
glad
to
you
win
said that.
comfortably.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying a loss. You
Yeah.
should be happy with me.
I know. I'm agreeing
It's
with
an
you,
L.
and that's what's making me sad.
It's an L.
But yeah, maybe a reverse jinx inbound from you.
It is in Santa Clara.
On a short week.
It's a good thing.
After 2 pretty brutal losses.
You got Darnold back there tossing the pill. Come on, Return of the Empire. Where's your enthusiasm? I'm saying L. Hard L. First time I've done it. I've said they were going to win comfortably every week. I was right for 5 weeks. I was wrong for 2 weeks. Now I'm saying firm L.
Yeah.
Niners still
Firm.
favored by 3.5.
It's too recent. Give it some time.
Oh, you don't think they have the knowledge yet?
I don't know.
Because here's the thing.
I don't know how quick the line
that
changes.
I don't understand about injuries at all, Nate. Why did Joe Burrow look like the worst quarterback in the history of mankind against the Browns? And I guess the Browns defense is great.
Yeah.
They beat the Niners. I guess we should give
Divisional.
them some love. But then all of a sudden, the guy's jumping around doing like, YouTube videos, looking great. Now he looks great. Now I think that they're Super Bowl contenders again.
Okay. Calf, though, try throwing without your calf. Like, you have to step into throws
exactly
so intensely. You have
Mm-hmm.
to run around. And then a calf is something like if you strain a muscle, like you can work it out, ice
So
it up.
when does that all of a sudden get better, though? Why did he go from looking terrible to looking amazing again?
I'm saying probably what happened. Not a doctor, obviously, but
you play one on TV.
I play one on the radio.
Okay.
The tension's gone. His muscle cleaned up. Sometimes you ever hurt yourself and then it hurts for weeks. One day you're fine. Next, he's got that. He's got a whole medical team trying to fix him.
It's true.
And he's a superstar and he's been through all this before. So I just, that's probably what happened.
Fair enough. Well, it should be a very interesting game.
We
to
look
say the
like, I
least.
think we got the highlight here. He's died where Brock got hurt. It's Simone showing me right now from Pro Football
Simone,
Talk.
boots on the ground.
When he,
Simone, she got the play.
He dove for a.
What was the time and score?
Oh, I can't see that on here.
No
but
quarter,
He
no
dove
time?
for the first down. He went for the QB sneak and just got popped in the head pretty hard. So by a linebacker, Hicks, I think. Doesn't look great. His head shoots back. Top of the pile.
And this is pre-2 interceptions that he threw to lose the game?
Definitely. Definitely.
Interesting. Well, as it has been reported, Shanahan has repeatedly gotten the most out of his quarterbacks, making just about anyone that starts a full game at least worth considering. We're talking fantasy impact here, obviously. Related players, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen, but potentially significant 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is in the NFL's concussion protocol. Coach Kyle Shanahan tells reporters, and as Nate has said, anybody that has gone through that, at least at this point during the week, you're pretty much donezo. So, I mean, I don't know what I've never really understood it, right? Like when Tua had it, he was like, I'm fine. And then he got knocked down again, and his brain's scrambling. I've never known exactly what the protocol is. They call it a protocol. What is the protocol? I have no idea. But
yeah,
I mean, like, who's to say whether or not you're good to go or not? Like, I was joking with Link, and I'm relating it to basketball, and I'm not comparing basketball to football at all. But I slammed my head literally with no breaking of my fall, the back of my head on the hardwood, right? And I played the rest of the game. Who knows if I had a concussion or not? Like, who's to really step in and say this guy can play or he can't? Or you're putting yourself in physical harm in the meantime. I don't know.
Well, that's why they have specific doctors now for that. They know the signs. Do they
though?
I mean, they study them. They know. I mean,
yeah,
right. But they're also paid to get the players back out there, so it's a slippery slope.
Exactly.
But anyways,
yeah. All right. Well, Kings season starts tonight. Not sure if you knew. I was supposed to be talking about it for 4 hours. I'm going to talk about it for at least 15 minutes. Sacramento Kings, Utah Jazz in Utah. Big game for the Kings. What will we see? What are the key points that I'm looking for? We'll discuss it next. Zachariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is thrilled to present American Idol winner Chase Beckham, Saturday, November 18th.
Now I'm 23.
Don't miss out on your chance to see this talented country artist live.
If you don't take it, a backwards firefly.
Get your tickets now to see Chase Beckham at goldcountrycasino.com, November 18th at 8 p.m.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Well, some bad news coming out of the 49ers camp. Brock Purdy is in concussion protocol per Matt Mayoko. And an extra update on that, Shanahan said that Brock Purdy first began exhibiting concussion-like symptoms during the team's plane ride home following the loss to Minnesota. That comes from NFL.com. But good news, your Sacramento Kings are back. They're in Utah to play the Jazz tonight. The Kings are favored by 1.5 right now. Chris Duarte will play for the Kings, but Kevin Huerter will still get the start. All this excitement begins with game night at 4:30. Tip-off 6 p.m. Don't forget, all guests and all callers are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now we get to the last half hour of the midday show with Zakariah.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Blow the whistle. They'll be doing that tonight in Salt Lake City, Utah, I believe. Kings and Jazz. We'll get into that. My apologies. Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140. Call or text the show, 916-339-1140. Follow me on Twitter, won't you? Always thirsty for Twitter followers. At Zach Sports, ZAK Sports. Somebody like from Napa followed me. And they have like, I don't know, a lot of followers.
They hook you up with a winery trip or something?
No, I don't know. It's just like...
have you ever done that? Gone to Napa for wine tasting?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I never have. I don't know if I want to.
You'll do it because of your girlfriend.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Napa Nate.
Napa Nate.
Your name.
Wait, is that his name?
Yeah, Napa Nate.
Okay.
Shout out to at Chardo Nate Dog. Follow me. Huh? He's got I don't know. He's official. Well, I guess anybody can be official now. You can pay to be official.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not. That's not my wheelhouse.
On Twitter. Yeah, you're not even on Twitter at all. No. I've been trying to. I had to post Nate the Great or whatever, but with no handle.
My bad.
I was trying to give you love.
Yeah, I just.
You an IG guy?
Yeah, IG, because I'm a video guy. I put all my videos on there and try to.
You can put videos on.
Yeah,
X.
Twitter seems like it's dangerous to your health.
I mean, only if you pay attention. I just pay attention to the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like if Simone says, "Oh, it's great working with Zakariah this past few weeks," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I'd recognize that and see that and see that it was great. If she said Zakariah was terrible, hate that guy, I'd totally ignore it. So you just, you just filter in the good.
Okay.
That's how you roll.
I got to work on that in life in general. So maybe I'll start in life and try getting over to Twitter someday.
Yeah, no, just accept the good and ignore the bad. That's how you kind of got to roll.
I've been embracing the bad a lot.
All right. So we're going to have a lot of good coming here at 1:45, crosstalk with the Drive guys. Now, are you going to prepare me? As I yelled at you earlier in the show for not preparing me yesterday, what is my preparation for today's show, which I know is going to be truncated because we have Kings Jazz coming.
Yeah. Let me take a quick look because Kyle Draper is in Utah on the call. Okay. Give me 30 seconds here.
He's doing the show.
Like
if a legend like Jerry is showing up, I need to know this. Anyways, I think it's Draper and Whitey.
It is Draper. It is Draper.
Figure it out.
It is Draper. Simone just confirmed.
Is he going to be like video cross-talking, or is it just going to be me and Whitey?
Yeah, it's going to be StreamYard.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
So
Let's talk Kings Jazz. Let me ask you this, Nate. Expectations for this team. Now, you have had people that cover the sport and say that there's going to be a lot of teams above the Kings.
Yeah.
I say not so fast, my friend. I think that they will reside at the 3 seed. I have, out of respect for the Joker, I have the Nuggets above and the Phoenix Suns, who beat the Warriors on the road last night. I have the Suns above the Kings. After that, you're going to have to make a good argument of who's going to finish better than them. And I know the Lakers are in there. LeBron, AD, they're old. They're injury prone. They had a great offseason. But the Kings, to me, had a great year last year. You cannot hold their health against them. They did add people, despite people thinking that they didn't do anything in free agency. I have the Kings at the 3 spot. Where do you got them?
I probably have them. Well, I predicted yesterday 50 wins.
Okay.
So I think that probably gets them 4.
4, yeah.
4, yeah.
Okay.
I think 4 or 5 is fair.
All right.
But like you always say, the West is going to beat up on itself, which for sure I think is true. I want.
Why is that not talked about more? That's the part that I don't get. It's like, yeah, everybody got better. Sure. I mean, the Suns, that's why I have the Suns above them. They just added a ton of talent. You have Beal, you have Durant, you have Booker, and then you just added like 9 million people on minimum wage contracts or whatever. But okay, I'm giving you the Suns. I'm giving you the Nuggets with the Joker, defending champs. That's fine. After that, like, where is the argument that the purple should not be in that mix?
I don't know. I think it's just media biased for against the Kings.
You think it's just you think it's a market thing?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. With the Kings is they don't get a lot of love nationally. Last year they did because
but they were everybody's favorite second team. They got a ton of love. Light the beam. They got tons of love.
They got love, but maybe not from a on the court,
like legitimate love.
Yeah, it was more like, oh, look how sweet they are.
Fun. Yeah. See, this is why I want anger, Nate. I was calling for anger.
Full circle
on Monday. Yeah, full circle from Monday's show. Anger. You guys need to be angry. I need Kings players. I need Kings coaches. I need Kings organization. I need Kings fans. I need everybody listening to be angry. I want this team to be angry throughout the entire year and show why you were a 3 seed last year and that it had nothing to do with health or minutes played or the West being down. No, damn it. We are the Sacramento Kings. Light the beam.
I think part of it too is they lost to the 6th seed in the playoffs, and
not just any ordinary 6th seed, the defending champions at the time.
Yeah, who ended up getting beat up pretty bad in the next series
by the Lakers. Yeah, but who lost to the champion.
Yeah. So
that's not like losing to some other team.
Yeah.
When you lose to the Warriors, who are coming off of a chip, and you have Steph Curry, who dropped a 50-banger on you in Game 7, that's not a bad series loss. I didn't walk out of that series loss and go, I feel less about the Kings.
Let me ask you a hypothetical about Memphis.
Sure.
Let's say
I'm down on Memphis.
Ja Morant was not suspended for the first 25 games. Do you think they would be above or below the Kings in the Western Conference?
Barely
Finals?
above.
So you think they're neck and neck?
With him being out for that long, definitely below.
Okay, but 100%. They do play well without him.
Yeah, I know. I've seen those stats. That's like,
you're just not buying into any of that.
No, you're never better without your best player. Morant is your best player.
Yeah.
So I'm never subscribing to them playing well without him. I know that there's a narrative about that, but there's so many things that go into games and whether or not they're won or lost. That's not what I'm subscribing to. What I am subscribing to is Kings fans, and damn it, Kings, I'm telling you, I want an emoji. I want the cutout of the angry emoji, the red face one. I want all Kings fans. I want Kings players. I want Kings coaches. And I think Mike Brown's been showing us. And I saw a little bit out of it from De'Aaron Fox last year in the playoffs. He got a couple of technical fouls. That's what I'm talking about. Play angry. Angry breeds success. That's just true. Kobe Bryant, one of the most angry people on the planet. He was great. Michael Jordan made up feuds. You know what he was? Great.
Nikola Jokic, the maddest guy I've ever seen.
Well, he just doesn't like basketball. I think he's a nice guy in general. He just hates basketball.
Imagine if he liked basketball, how good he'd be.
He'd be incredible. Are you kidding me? That guy's watching tapes of horses, not watching tape of basketball in his spare time. So, yeah, he would be even more amazing. But I'm just saying, angry. And again, people talk about LeBron. LeBron won when he became the villain when he went to Miami. So let's be angry, Sacramento. Not angry in general. Be nice to everybody, all your loved ones and your family and your significant others. But just be angry in terms of rooting for your team, because there was not enough anger when the Warriors beat the Kings in 2 preseason games, one in overtime that I was at, and one when the babyface assassin hit a backboard 3-pointer, which he didn't call, and then another one to end the game. And then he put you 9-9 and did the whole be angry about that. De'Aaron Fox saying, I wanted him to shoot that. I didn't want overtime. No, anger. We need it. We will not have it coming up next with the one, the only, Whitey Gleason. It is the Drive Guys coming up, truncated show as we get you ready for the Kings and Jazz. Coming up, season opener. Get excited, Sacramento. Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The 82-game NBA journey begins Wednesday for the Sacramento Kings.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
But G-Man Gary Gerald has all the play-by-play Wednesday of season number 39 in Sacramento.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker.
It's the Kings and Jazz in the season opener from Utah.
He's got the three-point shot.
Wednesday at 6 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Do you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals that help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Smart & Final, or a local grocery store near you.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet Arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
I wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Homecoming night for Sacramento State football this Saturday versus Idaho State Bengals. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early and enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Okay, everyone, gather around. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again next year, you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
The City of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Call, text, subscribe, mention, all that good stuff. Coming up at 2 o'clock, stolen money. Alert the police. There's going to be a couple of hosts stealing money. Another truncated show as we get ready for Kings and Jazz. I am Zakariah, behind the glass. Young Nate. He hates when I call him Nathan. Can't call him Nathaniel because that's not his name. But we good over there? Whitey Gleason, drive, guys. Whitey, do we have
money? We haven't had a truncated show since Monday. And after today, we don't have another one until tomorrow. So watch yourself.
That's 2 truncated shows in 4 days. Now, let me start with Kyle. Kyle, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me? You boys got me.
How about my Diamondbacks?
Why you got to go there? Why you got to talk up bad news already?
I got to start with that.
You bringing up bad news.
Your Eagles beat my Dolphins. Not that I am a Dolphins fan, even though I am. And, the Niners lost. I was hoping Whitey could at least go off of a Niners win. So, of course, I got to rib you on the Phillies.
Wow. You know what, though? We've had a lot of heartbreak in Philadelphia recently, but I'll accept it because at least we got there. If you're a fan of a team that didn't make the playoffs, it's like being a guy on the outside of the club, Zakariah, and you know all about the club scene. I know that.
Yes.
If you got to wait in line, and you can't get inside, you ain't allowed to talk. You can't talk.
Okay, so let's start there. And Whitey, I'll ask you, would you rather your team get your heart broken like they were, up 3-2, Kyle, up 3-2, going home with 2 games and losing in game 7, or would you rather your team just not be in the playoff mix at all?
It's a fair question. To me, it's not a good question.
Okay.
Because of course you'd rather your team. Anybody would rather
be nicer.
Give me a chance. Well, no,
okay.
I say it's fair.
But you said it was a bad question.
Well, but I just mean it's so obvious that anybody, like Kyle's saying, he would want his team in there rather than we missed. I mean, people may say that. Oh, I'm glad my
so like
my
a Bills
team not
fan,
making, but it's a lie.
Bills fan, early 90s. You make the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and you don't win 1. You'd rather have that than not make the playoffs at all?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, to me, that's more heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, but you look at the Sacramento Kings. You ask any Sacramento Kings fan.
Whoop. He dropped out on us.
You ask any Sacramento.
Yeah, there we go. We lost him for
just a second.
Yeah,
that was the best point I ever made on radio, too. That was the best point ever. But if you're a Sacramento Kings fan, would you rather make the playoffs and go to the finals every year and get heartbroken, or never not go at all? I mean, come on.
Well, okay, let's compare this to a relationship. Would you rather a girl reject you immediately or leave you at the altar? Like, to me, the Bills losing the Super Bowl, you get left at the altar.
Right.
You get left at the altar. No?
It's
no good? Okay. All right. Fair enough.
You had to go that route.
All right. Brock Purdy, concussion protocol. Nate tells me that no player who has been put in that has played the following week. All of a sudden, Brock Purdy out for this big game against what I would say is now back in the mix of a Super Bowl contender in terms of the Bengals. Super Bowl rematch, I'm sure, from a time that you remember, 1984?
It'd be the 3rd time they
82 or 84?
I mean, well, they played
Boomer
Esiason.
Anyways, it's a Super Bowl rematch from a long time ago, but Brock Purdy out. Concern?
That's why you got Sammy D, and Sammy D can spin it. We know that. That's
Are you starting that hashtag now? Sammy D?
All right, Nate.
Shout out Sammy Davis. Nate doesn't look.
That's why you have a backup
excited.
quarterback. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I tell you what, though, this is a worst case scenario for Brock Purdy fans, right? What if Sammy D comes in and looks like Joe Montana?
Don't start, Kyle.
Now what are we going to say?
Kyle.
And so what are we going to say then?
We're
right?
not doing quarterback controversy talk. Kyle,
but we've seen this script before in San Francisco. And so I'm just saying, there's a reason why Sam Darnold was brought in. And I think it was just for this case.
To do this for
because
2.5
you needed a comfortable, capable backup. And if he comes out and lights it up,
even
good for
if
him.
he throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and no picks, and they win in a blowout, there is no quarterback controversy.
No, I'm not. No quarterback controversy.
Okay.
I'm just saying that proves, what I've been saying and other people have saying, when you have a great system, when you have great players around you, it's easier to thrive in.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy played great last week until he didn't. And why didn't he? Oh, well, he got his bell rung. So if anything, the people like you, Kyle, who've been dogging Brock Purdy, I think you owe him an apology. But that's just me.
I didn't think he was playing that great. I thought he missed some throws before he got his bell rung. And so, and then when we needed him to make the big throws, big plays, he didn't. It didn't happen. And if you listen to Kyle Shanahan today, the symptoms didn't start occurring until he was on the plane. And Kyle Shanahan said he didn't think he saw anything untowards from Brock Purdy that may have led to his performance because of the concussion. And so let's not start making excuses here, Whitey.
As an amateur neurologist, I can tell you these things. It starts to affect your judgment before the symptoms are really
that seems to come
obvious.
Up a ton. Yeah. Now, Mr. Draper, you are out there in the beautiful state of Utah, and you're getting ready to call the Kings Jazz game. I'm a little worried about this game. The fan base, I would argue, is a top 3 scariest fan base in all of the NBA. And as the Kings start to begin the season, what are you looking for? It seems like from the reports from Nate and the updates, Duarte will be playing, but he's not going to be starting. Herter will.
Yeah, I was at shoot around today, and Duarte looked good in shoot around. He participated in everything they were doing, moved up and down the court very well, but I think he'll play, but he'll be off the bench. Kevin Herter practiced with the first squad today. It's interesting. I'm here in Delta Center. That's what they're calling it again now. And they got purple T-shirts on all the chairs. So they want to make this a purple out. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like,
that's Kings.
Don't they understand? Like, can't you do a white out or a gold or yellow or something? Yeah. Why purple tonight? And so my boys should feel right at home tonight in front of this Delta Center.
Are they trolling, Kyle?
Maybe, but I'm telling you what.
Little needling?
That sea of purple. If I'm De'Aaron Fox, I'm licking my chops. It's like a home game out here.
Now, they played a lot of close games, Kyle. I mean, is this a matchup thing? Because the Jazz, I don't think a lot of people would deem the Jazz one of the better teams in the NBA. Is it a style of matchups between the two teams?
Yeah, I think the Jazz are a better team than what their record indicated last year. I think they have some players that can go off. Lauri Markkanen was an all-star, obviously. Jordan Clarkson, we know he can go off for 30 or 40 points. And these games came down to the wire last year. De'Aaron Fox in the 2 games he played, I think he dropped 37 in one and then 37 in another. So he likes playing against this Utah team. But, you're right. They're not the upper echelon of the West, but they got a lot of good players. And I think they have one of the best young coaches in the game in Will Hardy.
But Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong. And Zach, I believe up until about halfway through last season, the Jazz they were up there with the Kings in terms of being one of the surprise teams of the season.
Yeah, Pelicans too.
Fell
off
the
face of the earth all the way until January. Yeah,
and then I think Danny Ainge got the message sent to the coaches and players, like, hold up now, we're supposed to be tanking here. We're supposed to be tanking. They had 3 first-round picks, so I'll be interested in seeing some of their young guys if they get any minutes tonight. But I'm excited for the Kings, man. This rotation Mike Brown has, the new guys. Sasha should get some minutes tonight, especially with Trey Lyles out. And so I think it's going to be a fun game tonight.
Yeah, I think there's going to be tons of rotational questions when it comes to the Kings. But real quickly, I want to pick your basketball brain. Are you okay with guys that just say that they're not going to trade with a team? Because they said that Danny Ainge purposely did not trade Mitchell to specific teams because he didn't like them. Do those beefs actually exist?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt, especially when it comes to Danny Ainge. First of all, obviously, you don't want to trade to a rival. Obviously, you don't want to trade to someone in your division or a conference.
Yeah.
But Danny Ainge, I'm telling you, he's petty, man. He is a petty guy. I got to know him in Boston when he was out there all those years. And, I guarantee you, he's not going to call up Pat Riley and talk to him and try to negotiate a trade unless it's an obvious one in which he can win. But there's no way he would want to help Pat Riley or the Heat because of all the distaste he has for Riley.
So petty. You called out the name. I wasn't going to say the actual name of the team. I heard it was more than one, though. I heard the Knicks. That he didn't want to trade with the Knicks either. To me, that's petty. You can't be petty. You know what I mean? Petty's not a good
deal.
look.
It worked out for him, so he made the right deal. So pettiness didn't hurt him.
All right, I will be tuning in on my ride home back to the Bay Area. It'll be the Drive Guys coming up. Truncated show, stealing money. I want the payment from 4:30 to 6. Can I get that hour and a half paychecks from you?
You're asking the wrong guy.
No? Okay,
nah, dude. Yeah, we owe the station money. We're robbing them so badly.
Tune in, Mr. Draper out there in Utah, getting you ready for the Kings opener. Kings and Jazz Drive Guys coming up next. It's been Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The 82-game NBA journey begins Wednesday for the Sacramento Kings.
He's got the